possession. Some become experts at worrying instead of solving. Others become experts at pleasing everyone but themselves. Some spend years accumulating possessions while neglecting the relationships that gave life meaning. Others become so efficient at meeting deadlines that they quietly miss the milestones that matter most. The world rewards productivity, but wisdom asks a different question. Is this activity taking life in the direction it truly needs to go? Every now and then, life invites us to pause, not because we've become lazy, but because we've become so efficient that we've forgotten to ask whether the destination still serves the journey. There's a quiet courage in stopping long enough to examine the path. Not every opportunity deserves a yes. Not every promotion is progress. And not every achievement is fulfillment. Jesus once asked, "What shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul?" That question has never really been about wealth alone. It is about priorities. It is about the danger of gaining everything that can be measured while losing the things that cannot. So perhaps this morning, the important question is not, am I working hard enough? But rather, am I becoming the person I truly want to be? Or have I simply become very good at running in a direction I never intentionally chose? Because in the end, life is not only about climbing, it is about making sure the ladder is leaning against the right wall. Good morning, and may today bring not only the strength to work hard, but also the wisdom to work toward what truly matters. And that is our message of inspiration for the morning. It will get us into our weather briefly. And early this morning, the Ghana Meteorological Agency says that isolated light rain is expected along the coast and forest belt, while isolated thunderstorms or rain may affect parts of the transition belt. Mist and fog patches are likely during the early hours, reducing visibility in some areas. But as the day unfolds, brief sunny spells will give way to the chance of thunderstorm and rain of varying intensity across parts of the coast, middle, transition, and northern sectors later in the day. And so as a word of caution, if you're heading out, keep an umbrella handy and stay updated with the latest forecast. You find them on social media, Twitter to be specific. That's where I always get a sense of what the weather is like for myself and for friends as well. I try to share as much as possible to keep everyone abreast. With that out of the way, we can get into some great music, kind courtesy DJ Phil, after which we're back with the newspapers for you here on the 3FM Sunrise. I am Mawuena Egbeta, the rest of the team, Codjoe, Patrice, Amegashi, Noble, Crosby, Annan, DJ Phil, One Man Lord on social media, as well as production, Alfredo Kunzo Tiani. We're back after great music, kind courtesy DJ Phil.
talking about anything bed, pillow. Let's exempt him from that. So
I think that's
that discussion remain between the two of us.
That's
if it has to do with relaxation, what to drink before going to bed, what to eat before going to bed, we can speak to him. But with regards to the bed that he sleep on or the pillow that he rely on, K is exempted from.
He's disqualified from mentioning. So yes, in the end, you go back to it, and so it's very important that you get at least something that makes you comfortable.
Yeah.
All right, something that makes you rest.
You go and sleep on, or are you slept on?
There's a reason there was an embargo on him even before the conversation will start.
Do not run any commentary on the matter.
There's a reason we say you are barred from making any such commentaries before we get ourselves into trouble. But it was short, but it was restful enough, and so
I'm happy to hear. I'm excited about it.
What about you? I mean,
well, I slept good. I don't know, mixed feelings. Anytime I'm going to bed, I think about the motorway, the Accra Tema motorway.
No pain, no gain.
You know,
it's a situation of enduring for a while.
I don't know who this contractor is, but he is one of the weakest contractors I've ever come across.
Oh,
he is terrible. He doesn't conform to global standards. Here is the thing: anybody who is bidding for such a highway contract would bring in a global standard. What's the name? Contract.
Global execution.
Exactly. And everything will be signed off based on that. Give them the work, hand over the contract to them, and you realize that they're doing the contrary. You can't traverse that road at night. Reason being, all the signs that intend to show you or direct you as to where to pass, left or right, are written on boards, or they are just printed on paper and pasted there. That is a highway.
It's not visible.
To be electronic.
It's not visible. I think
it has to be LEDs all
so that when the light hits, it reflects and you can tell.
It has to be LEDs all along.
Paper.
Printed on paper.
Wow.
And then they paste it there. You know. No, they use the glossy one, so when it rains, it doesn't exactly.
It's still.
But that is wrong. Every now and then, the road needs to be watered. You have to put water on the road
to
avoid
reduce the dust.
Exactly, because when people crawl into bread vans that we call trotro, to travel all the way from there to Accra, most of these bread vans that we call trotro do not have air conditioners in them. So the windows are always down. Can you imagine people inhaling all the dust? And like I said, because of our indiscriminate way of behaving, people urinate just anywhere, people spit just anywhere, people defecate anywhere.
And so
these things dry up. They dry up and they become form part of the dust. And when you inhale it, look at the situation. They don't smoothing the road. If anybody tells you, I'm selling a car, ask them where they live. If they live beyond the motorway, don't buy that car. Or look, negotiate to the lowest point. No car in Tema should sell beyond 10,000 cedis.
Oh.
No car.
If someone buys a 2026 Land Cruiser, it should sell 10,000 cedis.
10,000 cedis. Because the road is terrible. And the contractor is horrible.
I'm thankful that you've brought this up for a conversation as well. All right. It's something that ought to be said. We need to give the Ghanaian a certain level of respect and treat them well.
Absolutely.
Right? I am someone who always asks the question, are citizens willing to endure the difficult times, which is geared towards making the situation better? That's why when you started, I was like, oh, you have to endure for it to get better, because once your road is being constructed, at some point, it will be rough. It will not be asphalted and all of that. And so you have to endure until, because I remember when the Aoshi, Pokwase, and Banyard Road, at some point the traffic was terrible. But we endured, and then today, yes, something can be done in terms of traffic management, but the bad nature of the road is no longer as it was. But even while we do that, I think I agree with Patrice perfectly. Consistently and occasionally, water the road, reduce the dust, right? Reduce it. So persons. Otherwise, by the time you traverse that road, you get to town, you're looking dusty.
Yeah.
You get to town and you're looking dusty. And so the contractor on the Tamamoto way,
wake up.
Please, we beg you, to the best of your ability, water as much as you can, so that the citizens can at least, whilst they endure the difficult nature of the road in wait of its being readied, at least they don't go through dust-filled areas and all of that.
I must admit, and let me say this on record, not that they do not put water on the roads. They do, but they do them at the wrong times. So
when you say the wrong times, when are the wrong times?
They just do it in the daytime for the optics. So people see that, it is happening. But your construction is exactly.
Yeah. So they work in the night as well. I think I've
they don't. I've not seen them in the night working.
Oh, I recall one time I was going either the Volta region very early, and there are some drainage systems which are put underneath, and so I saw some works in the night. But regardless,
it is just bad.
Just as consistent as you can, make the citizens' life easier.
There's also one person I need to say hello to this morning. Kwame, good morning to you. Kwame, I'm pretty sure you live somewhere around Committee 25. Please, 25 area Gulf City roads, they are evil roads. They are evil roads. Now, the reason I say they are evil roads is that, look, anytime you pass on that road, you curse whoever is in leadership. And they push you into doing...
How bad is it? Because...
Really?
Yeah. No, I'm asking I'm asking how bad it is.
From the Kumbaria into the Gulf City area, they call somewhere what Bediakon. They call just Gulf City. There's Brasta Village, there's Bediakon, there's Jinyame, and all those strange names. You can come up when it gets to anywhere along that place. Look, the gullies that you need to go through. And I keep wondering, if somebody were ill or sick, or there was a pregnant woman who needed to be carried from one point to the other, trust you me, that person's situation will be so much aggravated and get worse. The road is horrible. The land is actually clay. The soil is clay soil. So it shifts as and when the big trucks move. So anytime there's water collecting in any of the ports, you can imagine what happens. And it looks like chocolate drink, that kind of thing. Sometimes it even gets worse or better than chocolate drink. It's so bad. And when cars, so I always applaud the commercial vehicles that use that road. I've always said that the Association of Landlords and Landladies should be giving some monies to all those who use their cars on that road. Reason being, you sacrifice a lot for that to happen. Every now and then, your shocks would go.
Yeah.
I have paid heavily for my shocks, but still, everything is gone down the drain again.
For 4x4 to be experiencing shocks, then it speaks
Gulf
to
City roads.
It speaks
and
to
then some of the residents are. You see, I told you the roads are evil. Some of the residents are evil. Do you know what they do? I mentioned this the last time. When the clouds gather and they realize, I think they go to the same spot you also go to. They visit the Ghana Meteorological Agency portal to check whether it's going to rain or not. The moment they get to know it's going to rain, they discharge their wastes.
Septic tank.
The septic tank. Not only do people discharge what we call the suckaway, people discharge waste, proper waste, human excreta. And I can point direct fingers.
To homes and all that.
A police woman and a church elder.
Patrice.
I'm not kidding you. I was so amazed. I was not home when it happened.
Okay, means you live close by.
I live opposite.
Oh, okay.
And they did that. I was so taken aback. I was shocked.
That's bad neighbors.
Evil. That is evil. Because the point is that you're thinking you are discharging it onto the road. But then it travels everywhere and some residue is left along the road. People will drive in with their car ties.
Kids
and take it,
going inside.
Children walk through that thing to school.
I mean, for that, there cannot be an excuse. How much?
You
see, the people come once a while. Engineer Crosby.
Okay, what Mr. Magashi is saying, if you are there, maybe you're chewing some polo and it falls, I can't pick it.
You can't pick.
That is what is funny.
You can't pick. Somebody sells fruits just around that area. So you can imagine, some of these fruits you don't need to. So apple, for example, you don't need to peel, you just have to wash. And you can imagine somebody hungry buying it and then moving on. It's just bad. It's just bad. No, it's just bad. It's so shameful. So the entire enclave and the people of Ashaman are also crying. Ashaman,
as for the roads,
Michelle Camp,
the roads.
Kwabena people, we are
you see,
crying.
Kwabena is. So I told you.
Ashaman Estates area, there's a road where you use transitions.
Yes, transitions, yes.
Where the BBL area is.
Oh, it is. Another, is it evil or bad? That one is also evil.
Demonic. Right? Nura Mohammed was one day using that road.
Yes.
She had to order a ride, so the ride came to pick her. When they were going to her destination, the driver said she will not go again.
Absolutely.
Because that road, it
is bad, and that one has got a lot of I don't know. Okay, let me just reserve to stones. It's like a stone quarry. It was like a stone quarry that has been leveled for people to go live in that community.
Mawuena, you know, who is going to speak for our brothers in Kaswa?
You see?
Our brothers in Kaswa.
Yes.
And
No, that's why I'm cool, because everybody needs to draw attention to the fact that their roads ought to be done.
Yes.
Now,
especially those who commute the Kaswa Winneba road. You mentioned something that I think has become a pattern, because I don't know, but this big push should have been accompanied with some road safety sensitization.
Oh, okay. And road management.
Yes, because if you look at most of the road constructions and you look at road safety, naturally, it hasn't been applicable to its fullest. So if you're a commuter of the Kaswa, Winneba or Kaswa,
where the construction is also ongoing,
where there's a massive construction ongoing, you'd realize that
signages
the signages are not placed, poor lighting system, so it makes it very difficult, especially when it's dusty. Imagine driving in the dust at midnight.
It's a cloud of dust, and it reduces visibility as well.
You have to turn on your highlights. In the daytime, I'm experienced on the motor.
So watering the road has always been an easier option. So it's important that if a road minister is listening to us, I'm told he's a very discerning man.
Yes, Kwame is very to be anywhere and everywhere at the same time.
I mean, there'll be officials.
We use the medium to tell him that these things are not happening on the roads. And
talking about Mr. Govins, there's a worry I see happening. We know that a lot of the big push programs, they are to be completed in 2027, which is next year. We are in July. We have barely 6 months to end the year, and then another 12 months to end 2027.
18 months.
Now, these are projects, when he was touring them and was visibly angry that some of them were as
delayed
low as
and persons were not
less than
work.
10%, 15% work rate. What is the guarantee that two things? Even if the work is completed on schedule, it would be of top quality because of the pressure that these contractors will be seen to come under. That's a concern that I see happening. And he also spoke about the fact that they have now learned when they are constructing roads that it is not advisable to, if you like, remove the old layer completely, like what has happened on the Kaswa Winneba road, because when you're going there, the old road is not there again. So he says that they have learned to do it in pieces. So they clear a part of the old one, they fix it, because if you do the whole stretch, it means until that stretch is rebuilt,
it's no more trouble.
Yes, it's not more trouble. But my major concern is the quality road we hope to get, whether we'll be able to achieve that in 2027, because the contractors are working under pressure through no fault of the roads minister. They the contractors are the ones who have not been proactive enough. That said, too, will we get, or will they use quality materials to do our roads?
Another question.
You see that a lot of the roads that we have in the country, after 2, 3, 4 years,
Yes.
you see potholes emerging from the roads all the time. Is that something that we'll see on the roads that the Big Push program is implementing? If that happens, it means we'll have to again audit the contracts that we're giving to the people in a subsequent government, and then we may have to be paying people some judgment debts, some debts that the roads minister will have to deal with, and all of that. So he's under a lot of pressure, but I just hope that he's able to
In
find
Ghana,
a
you just
way.
have to hope.
What I can say to add to what Crosby mentions is that there's that expectation
Yeah.
on them, and I think in terms of
Can you qualify the expectation?
his-
high expectation.
right.
High.
In terms of the visits, and we've had conversations, and you spoke to him personally, and so you have a bit more in terms of detail as well. There's a continuous drumming of quality. The roads have to be of a certain quality, right? I think it will come down to persons who are inspecting the progress of work. And a number of our listeners as well have been sharing videos of their roads since we started. The conversation.
You see, the conversation about big push, as much as it is an awesome initiative, I mean, all beautiful things have their challenges, and I think that's why we must be more deliberate, because it looks like no matter how well-intentioned things are planned, its implementation is always very questionable.
Which was leading me to the point that at the last time we had a conversation in studio, we were asking why it was taking the minister to travel to these places to realize that the contractors were not working. There's a district in which the roads are being constructed. There's a district roads and highways official. They run all the way down to the districts. Where is the district persons who are supposed to be aiding to monitor the roads? The DC. In your district or municipality or metropolitan where the road is being contracted, is being put together, constructed, you are not inspecting to see, do they appreciate what, you're supposed to do a number of layerings before you put bitumen, gravels and all of that. Do they know that, such that they can help with inspection? Yes, we see the ordinary citizen, particularly when the minister was going around on the tour, say that, Honorable, he has not been coming. When he heard that you were coming is when he came here. So we are seeing citizens, even on social media, they post the videos. But to places where the work is being done, I'm not sure the ordinary citizen appreciate and understand how many fillings or layers has to go before
Quality assurance.
the road, we can say it meets a certain standard.
Assurance.
Who are the persons in the district, the DCE, the regional ministers, in your region in which the road is being done, the
They don't
MCs,
care about the country.
all
They
of
don't-
those people,
The chiefs.
you understand? Because
It has to take the minister.
the minister must not be everywhere, and we are not making excuses for him.
No,
but the truth is,
Mawuena, I want
who
to
is
play the
monitoring?
devil's advocate here.
Who is monitoring?
Because we take monitoring and evaluation for granted. I don't know why we haven't centralized it technologically.
It can be done.
Because
It should be done.
I always say that even with micro startups, if we are able to deploy technology tools that create ease for our administration, I don't see why we can't apply same or better to public administration. We should be able to digitize monitoring and evaluation. When reports are made or when reports are inputs are made with regards to ongoing projects, the minister should be able to see from a dashboard. So when the minister has questions to ask, it is as easy as identifying who is responsible for the missing link.
Yeah.
But we are in an era where, there was a lot of noise on digitization under the Nana Akufo-Addo administration, but I always feel that technology is always evolving. I mean, they did their bit. The Ghana card has come to stay.
Right.
We've all seen that it has become a very primary
identity document.
Yes, identity document that, is creating ease and is helping interpretability, So one will expect that once that foundation has been laid and we are moving towards an era of even bigger tech, a reset should experience some of these things.
You're absolutely right on that.
If you look at the oral, for instance, imagine you have to be scrambling looking for information here and there when we can conveniently just enter a website link and access whatever information there is supposed to be and track whatever information there is supposed to be and find whatever information we are supposed to. One of the hardest things in this country is finding information. And it is very, very, very key, but undermined all the time. Because how can you speak to things you don't know?
Absolutely.
Yesterday, the Auditor General released a report.
A number of reports actually have been.
And I was trying to analyze the document. So I was looking for maybe history, some historical document, maybe 5 years, so I could draw
parallels and all
parallels. And my brother, go on the site. You'd see 2025, 2024, then it jumps to 2023, then it jumps to 2020. And you realize the 2021 documents are missing. 2022 documents are missing. And even the naming of files where there is consistency. So every year, I know when I'm looking for Crosby, all I have to enter is the gentleman who likes wearing African print, and Crosby would pop up. So this year I enter Crosby African print, and it pops up, and it tells me it's 2026. Next year, I'm expecting that same title would be used to name the report for next year, so I'll be able to find that same document. But unfortunately,
you don't find that.
There's no consistency. So some of us are wondering if it was a reset or it was a reboot, because
maybe a reboot. Back on the roads, two things.
But a computer that has been affected by a virus, like in Ghana's case, if you reboot it, it does not take away the virus.
Who says they want to? Who says they don't want a reboot? They rather want a reboot.
Because a reset is a different conversation altogether.
I'm telling you.
I think in the next few days, maybe we should create a scorecard.
2 comments on the roads.
Right, because I wanted to find out which road it was. Then we can get into.
Okay. Then we have the Elizabeth also.
We can
now,
get
two
into
things.
the.
Number one, people would always talk about the 10% aspect that some politicians collect.
Allegedly.
Yes, allegedly, the 10%, and they'll tell you that yes, when they take the 10% and pay the person who gave them the contract, the person who did so and so and so and so, there's little left for them to construct the road. So that is why we don't get the quality. So where are the 10%ers? Where are they and who are they? That is number one. Number two, there is this very crass notion that when the road is constructed properly, top quality, no contractor will get other jobs to do again in future. This is a WAP mindset.
Why do we do this to ourselves?
Because do you know the number of kilometers this country needs for roads to be completed?
Imagine buying a 19 cedis hammer for 300 Ghana cedis.
You know that kind of thing. So my point is that construct the roads, let it be quality. There are inner roads. People are going to spread out. There are places that we need to go. So every now and then, there would be work for you to do as a contractor. Do not say that if I construct this road and make it a high quality global standard road, what happens to the next people who come to power? What happens to the next? You know, Ghana, I keep saying, the quality of leadership is determined by the quality of the roads we have. And mark my words for that. The quality of leadership in any country is determined by the quality of roads.
Let's get into the newspapers now. Crosby, I wanted to read a comment.
Yes, the road I was referring to was the Ecomog Road or the Academic City Road around.
What we showed as well was somewhere Amasaman. Patricia with the Daily Graphic.
Okay, let's start with the Daily Graphic. So, Daily Graphic this morning says, government unveils renewable energy plan. It's on page 13. And Goldfields Foundation, World Vision, provide water for Damang community. So Goldfields is teaming up with World Vision to provide water for the people in Damang. Surprisingly, a 61-year-old woman gives birth in Accra. 61-year-old woman gives birth in Accra.
Okay, so they've confirmed the story. I saw it on social media.
Yesterday I was hearing 58. I later heard 60.
Yeah, so the age ranges were a bit different.
But I think the crux of the story is there.
We're a very fortunate generation. I mean, we've experienced about Taza, a King Solomon, and now we're experiencing a Sarah.
A Sarah.
Yes.
61. Anyway, now the banner headline.
Experience King Solomon, experiencing a Sarah.
So the banner headline on the front page of the Daily Graphic today, if you should get it, says, Ghana takes tough stance against xenophobic attacks. Declines South African president's visit. It has the pictures of President John Dramani Mahama and Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa. This is a really bold step that Ghana has taken. I think this is one in how
it was long overdue.
Yes.
And
then the back page says Senaya faces surgery after World Cup heartbreak, vows stronger comeback. Is he coming to play?
We wish him all the best. He was inarguably one of our standout players, and it was terrible seeing him leave the pitch in the manner in which he did.
And so, even more terrible the impact he had on the team.
Absolutely. In fact, his absence automatically affected the fortunes of the team.
Okay.
And so, yeah.
So
that's
let me follow through.
That's
let me just do what Crosby does most of the time. So the center spread.
Right.
So the center spread of the Daily Graphic says NDPC constructs Black Star Stadium in Western Region, and then aging fleet threatens emergency response ambulance service. We've heard this since 12 BC. The same story.
When were the ambulances purchased?
Chairman, I'm telling you.
Are these the President Akufo-Addo's ambulance?
I should think so. I should think so. We'll get the details. Okay. So it's one of the things because I think we need to find out. Okay, Patrice, perhaps just mention.
I don't think it will.
So that, because I want us to go through the headlines as well quickly, so that.
Okay, this one talks about it was acquired in 2018. Anyways, GRA to donate confiscated 39,000 jerry cans cooking oil to school feeding program. So it's got the picture of Anthony Kwesi Sapon, Commissioner General of GRA, who was speaking to the media. So somebody was smuggling items, 39,000 jerry cans of cooking oil, and they believe there's a corroboration between some staff of the GRA and immigration. So there you go. That's the Daily Graphic for today.
All right. I have the Daily Guide. I'll do that quickly. Government officials linked to Aussie $208 million meth bust. That's according to the Interior Minister. You know that methamphetamine, which was confiscated in Australia.
Is it the video we exchanged?
No.
Is it that one?
No. This one was a different one.
Oh, okay.
There was a bus
yes,
in Australia. The minister says investigations is already linking government officials to that. That is certainly to draw a number of eyebrows. Asante Hema picks Nanaya Icha II as stool name. 2 killed, others injured in Sefi Sairano police resident clash. Wow. Security services recruitment, 1,300 candidates have HIV. The minister is disclosing this, and Safo Kantanka didn't name next leader in will. Adjoa Safo's lawyer is saying this. I'll do the news center quickly and then we can get into the others. 94.6 million cedis wasted under Green Ghana. MS Richie Plantations paid 9.5 cedis per seedling, while 1 cedi per seedling offered by local seedling suppliers was rejected. Water for Daman, a partnership that delivered. Court strikes out false case against Amardeep Sanamdeep Singh Hari, the IPMC executive chairman. It's a complicated story on the front page. And government officials under probe over $208 million meth scandal. Also here, 7.5 million paid to 4 dead pensioners is captured in the Auditor General's report.
And then the Ghanaian Times, we have a Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, says focus on results, not numbers. Veep urges research fund. GRA also donates seized cooking oil to school feeding program. Interdicts 4 offices. And we have state bodies lose over 1.24 billion Ghana cedis to financial irregularities. Auditor General reports. NAS to roll out pre-notification referral system for emergency care. And then police reiterates warning against unlawful use of sirens. If we look at the back, we have persons with disabilities empowered with tools to start business. And 500 women farmers received 250,000 Ghana cedis support in northern Ghana.
The new finder this morning says that Ghana secures $21 million EU grant for Tema and Pakadan Rail. Also, Q1 revenue falls to 57 billion cedis. Gold price down to $4,126 per ounce. Agribusiness players call for caps on food imports. There's an interesting story here. Accra waste crisis deepens as landfill nears closure, and that's on page 5 of the paper. So I got a message from your friend Prince Derek J, and that message was also related to waste. A question that he's asking is that you know that on Friday and Saturday, I believe, we're doing a cleanup.
Oh, yeah.
He's
asked the question, where is the waste going to?
Where is the waste going to? I think it's something that we should pay attention to. So if you know how important that landfill is to the sanitation concern we have in Accra. A few weeks ago in the Ashanti region, there was a waste crisis. Tricycle operators, they were also complaining that a place was full. They didn't have a place to dump the waste. We should be careful so that Accra does not get there, because Accra generates far more than Kumasi does, and if we don't get landfill sites, where will the waste end up? Water bodies.
The Inquisitor this morning says Ghana rejects Ramaphosa's state visit. Nana Ayew exposed as he is suspected of having different motives. That has to do with the Afari Hospital visit by the NPP. Eastern Region NDC welcomes Apiedu's decision to contest as regional vice chair, and Emisa Foods on post-flood handling of vegetables. That is the Inquisitor for this morning. Also, there's a newspaper called Discover. It says government officials linked to Ghana-Australia meth busts attributed to Interior Minister. Asante Man celebrates a new Asante Hema, and then cash irregularities jump to 410 million in 2025. So Discover is telling us that. The Informer this morning says NPP slams Mahama Museum locomotives. Toxic dump horror at Malam. Economists recommend more funds for MMDAs. Who is this economist recommending more funds for MMDAs? Anyway, we'll deal with that. Face saving visit. Mahama snubs Ramaphosa over xenophobic attacks. Drugs and alcohol won't solve problems, doctors warn. and Zoom Lion Annette. So that is the Informer this morning.
The publisher says dead men on payroll, 4 ghosts chopped 7.4 million Ghana cedis for 7 years. Finance Ministry delivers $700 million Euro bond settled ahead of schedule. 1,300 security applicants have HIV. Oforisapo becomes Unimax first chancellor, and Ramaphosa visits SNOP. Minority seeks clarity.
Okay, I have the Daily Guide with me. Daily Guide says...
I've done.
Oh, you've done?
Yeah, I've done
Daily Guide.
Let's look at the Chronicle.
Great. Okay, do the Chronicle.
Yes, Atoforsen caught off guard. AMA leases 2 public lands for 90 years without his approval. EC staff union petitions management to suspend recruitment of director of finance. Will does not determine Christo Asafo leadership, says lawyer. So that is for the Chronicle.
Okay, there's the Accra Times, which says that UBIDX will rise and shine. And this is attributed to Alban Bagbe, Speaker of Parliament. Afoko is MPP's best bet for 2028. And Zanata calls for collaboration. Minister calls for more investments. And then NPA engages retail outlet operators and tanker drivers. So that is the Accra Times.
Junior Graphics says children in cities,
Just like the mirror.
developing myopia, screen time major cause. And it says Junior Graphic Parliament and U Quiz and Junior Graphic National Essay Competition. Yes.
Okay, so let's look at the Herald. Herald newspaper this morning says Goldfields mine lease, lobbying caught in Ghana, South Africa diplomatic chaos. Oh wow. Interior Minister drops bombshell in Australia drug probe and security services applicants HIV test. Now, Ghana Water Company Limited shuts Dodowa booster station tomorrow. Council of State against sensitive public officers for dual citizens. And then Ghana Gas Management blames Ken Ejepong and Ben Asante in Airport West property acquisition. Whoa. This is quite deep. So that's the Herald for this morning.
Let's get into the details, right, Patrice?
We didn't
the
do
ambulance.
online.
Yes, the ambulance. I'll just do the online reviews quickly, starting off from 3news.com and then my Joe Online as well as City Newsroom, just briefly, and then we can get into the details because people are wanting to hear the details, right? 3news.com, Argentina produce historic comeback to eliminate Egypt and keep World Cup dream alive. That's top of the stories here. Persons living with HIV raise alarm over shortage of antiretroviral medicines. AG files application to set aside ex-NAFCO CEO's permit to travel. And Western North Region Police Command interdicts 8 officers over fatal shooting incident at Sayerano. Cabinet to finalize position paper on review of 1992 Constitution on July 10, as according to the President.
Right.
MyJoyOnline.com, Suffolk and Tanker's will does not name a church leader, says Kwame Ikufu, who's a lawyer of Sarah Jasafu, who's been speaking. That's a tough story there. Take responsibility. Minority Caucus supports tough action against South Africa. That's good to see. East Legon, Medina, Denta, others face 24-hour water interruptions. The water supply is not 24 hours. It comes weekly. That's what we've known since. Facts first. Samuel Jinapor cautions government over foreign affairs decisions, and Professor Quarty slams GES ban on graduation ceremonies as knee-jerk reaction. Calls for policy guidelines. City Newsroom, government to blame for sanitation crisis. Linda Oklu sleeping on the job. The Kwai MP is saying this. Ghana secures UAE Saudi markets for semi-finished cocoa products, and Ghana must emulate Morocco's football development module. Nyantichi, he should give us a break. Police dismantle alleged drug. He was there for a long time. Did we see the Morocco setup? We went to the World Cup. I think 2 times under him, or was it 3 times? Right? We went to the World Cup in 2006, 2010, 2014.
Yes.
What did we see? What did we see the money being used for something? Please, those people should not come be advising us sometimes. Well, it's good. Maybe you've sat down, you've realized your mistakes and all that. But sometimes it's very annoying to hear it from persons who have been in the position
for
to implement.
Absolutely.
I mean, let's call a speed a speed.
So I have Ghana Web here. Let me just do the Ghana Web, then I'll come to you. So, stories on Ghana Web this morning. Go to the beach in your country. Watch as South African women are chased out of Mozambique beach. Listen, it's getting very serious. We're joking with it. Now, from Kusi Amwa to Amabunsu, list of all Asante Hemens since the creation of the Asante Kingdom. It's on Ghana Web this morning. Council of State advises Parliament against passage of dual citizenship bill. That is another story. Police post set on fire after fatal shooting in Sairano. U.S. launches airstrikes against Iran. Now, every child is born a blank state. Parents shape the outcome. This is attributed to a pediatrician. KNUSC student accused of girlfriend's murder reappears in court. Local government ministry holds emergency meeting with MMDCs ahead of national conference or something. Yeah. And then the final one, as you can see on Ghana Web, how callous, how wicked Pius Hajide blast state over rearrest of sick former buffer stock boss. So that is Ghana Web this morning. Yeah.
We can start with the ambulance story because I checked.
The ambulance story?
The ambulance were commissioned in 2020, so it will be interesting to.
So this story is by Joshua Bedia Akokumsen, and it says the Deputy Director of Planning, Policy, Research, Monitoring and Evaluation at the National Ambulance Services, Dr. Simon Akairi Nyaba, has disclosed that nearly all ambulances being operated by the service have exceeded their recommended operational lifespan of 5 to 7 years, resulting in frequent breakdowns and increased maintenance challenges. According to Dr. Nyaba, the NAS currently operates 323 ambulances across 319 stations nationwide, with the last major addition to its fleet being the acquisition of 307 ambulances in 2018. He said the vehicles had now exceeded their useful lifespan due to the demands of emergency operations, which often involved long-distance referrals across the country. The manufacturer's recommendation for an ambulance is that when it runs between 5 and 7 years or 120,000 kilometers, you have to start looking at replacing it. Now, our ambulances spend more time in the workshop than actually providing the care that they actually need. So that is what they say. Spare parts, he said. The aging fleet had affected the service ability to meet the growing demand for emergency medical care, and some ambulances were spending extended periods in workshops instead of responding to emergencies.
Here's what I'm going to say in relation to that. I think when the ambulances came, they came with additional contracts for servicing.
Right.
I think in terms of all of the debaters, so Kenoforiata and the OSP's investigation in particular, the ambulance purchase saga is one of such. And the subsequent agreements for servicing. It's unfortunate the story doesn't mention that important context as well in addition to it, so that it can help us appreciate whether that contract is being fulfilled, because he tells us, the story tells us that the ambulances are spending a long time at the workshops instead of being on the road. So what is the problem? Did the contract for servicing and has it ended at some point such that now the ambulance service is having to finance the servicing? You know, all of those are important contexts, but the bits where per standards between 5 to 7 years you must begin to look for new ambulances. I mean, it's fair and it's a resource conversation, right? But what is happening to the servicing, even as we we look forward to
Yeah.
putting pressure to bear to say that health is wealth. Let's look towards getting
I'm
new
surprised you are
ambulances
surprised.
and all of that.
I'm surprised you are surprised they didn't include that aspect of the contract in the statement, because that is what will benefit all of them. They just need to yank all these ones out, get the new ones, so that whoever is going to procure the new ones would get their bite. That is all. They don't need to focus on any
I'm not
contract.
sure that will be all of it.
Oh, they don't need to focus on
I'm
any
not sure
contract.
that will be all of it.
But one
right?
of the reasons the ambulances are spending more time at the workshops than on call for any emergencies is the bad nature of the roads they travel, because they need to be on top speed when they are carrying a patient.
So there was a $77 million contract for the ambulance maintenance.
Great.
So 77 million. In fact, there's a story here from a year ago or so, which says Akando, the present health minister, Akando, saying that he was going to probe the $77 million ambulance maintenance contract. It's why I asked why that context was missing. So to let us know if the contract for maintenance of the ambulance has come to an end, then we know who is footing the bill for all of this, and it provides a bit more context to go specific and ask the specific questions.
$77 million for maintenance. Engineer. You see? So road network is one of the causes. Road network, because at top speed, any pothole, they have to run through it. Any rambo strips, they just have to go over it. Any speed ramp, if it is within the range, they can go over it. So, but the roads are so bad and they have to be fast. So every now and then, much as they do other things that most, it comes to the media, carrying plantain and cassava and all those things, yes, those are the ancillaries. But the point is that the road network is bad. So mud gets into it, water gets into it, dust gets into the engine and all that because of the movement and all. But I am really interested in the $77 million maintenance money that we don't know whether it is still in existence or not. So CID director is here. He will be able to tell us whether that money is still available. So CID.
We will dig into it accordingly.
Look, this is a dead state, man. Ghana is a dead country.
So
we are hopeful. We are hopeful.
There's no hope for Ghana.
So far as we have people like Crosby and Mawuena and DJ Phil in the system.
I want to understand something. So the ones that they are complaining about are the ones that were bought before 2020.
No, it's the 2020. It was commissioned in 2020.
It's the 2020 ambulances.
Yes, that's why I even had an issue with them saying 2018, because the ambulance were officially commissioned in 2020.
So I think the batch was the 2018 batch. They bought 307, according to the story.
The 307 purchases was by the Kufuor administration. It was commissioned in 2020.
Yes. So he says that. So according to Dr. Nyaba, he says the National Ambulance Services currently operates 323 ambulances across 319 stations nationwide, with the last major addition to its fleet being the acquisition of 307 ambulances in 2018. So the last time we acquired was 2018.
So I think the agreement, the maintenance agreements may have come to an. It was a 5-year maintenance contract worth $77 million.
92.7.
5 year. Meanwhile, it says the contract was awarded to procure the 307 ambulances for $41 million, and then the maintenance contract was $77 million. So that's a bit more.
2026. That means it expired last year.
Yes, it should suggest it expired last year.
Last year,
right? But if the story also tells us that they had been in workshops for a long period of time, it will raise questions as to what was being done
with the maintenance funds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so all of those are very important questions that ought to be answered. I'm going to take us into page 3 of the Daily Guide newspaper in relation to the Australia methamphetamine story, because the Interior Minister was speaking yesterday, and one of the stories we'll focus on during the big conversations a lot later this morning. The story is by N.S. Kofi. He's reporting from Parliament, he's writing from Parliament. He reads that the Minister for the Interior, Mohammed Mubarak Muntaka, has disclosed that some government officials are being interrogated over their suspected involvement in the recent $208 million worth of methamphetamine bust in Australia linked to a shipment from Ghana. Appearing before Parliament's Government Assurances Committee, the minister said investigations had uncovered indications that individuals within the state system may have played roles in facilitating the attempted trafficking, although he declined to identify those involved because investigations are ongoing. There's a quote attributed to him: "Our men are on the ground." No, he says, "Our men on the ground." Like this Australia thing that you mentioned in passing, even as of yesterday, we were still interrogating a lot of government officials. Mr. Muntaka told the committee. He stressed that investigators are pursuing evidence and could disclose details that could compromise the probe. You have been Minister for Defence and you know the importance of evidence. It is not everything that I can put out at this stage because we are still investigating and interrogating people. There's a lot that is not adding up. You see that there is some involvement of some people within the system. He said. Quick thoughts on that, and then perhaps a bit more. Well, he was also just on the minister. He provided details as to how 1,300 of the persons who put themselves up for possible recruitment into the security agencies, 1,300 of them
they have HIV.
Had HIV and did not know, and so health officials were communicating to them.
Serious.
The HIV thing is a very serious thing. I knew about this thing about 3 years ago. I got to know about this 3 years ago because I have somebody in there who is part of the recruitment, and he kept on telling me that, look, Ghana is treading on dangerous grounds because the rate of infection among the young people is deadly. Now, these are the young people we are seeing because they've gone in to apply for a job. Perhaps they may be dating elderly people or much older people whose status we don't know. So HIV spread is on the rise. Most people don't know their status. Most people don't check because they don't find it necessary to do so. And we take everything for granted. Familiarity, because you become my friend, that is it. But that is quite alarming. So if this is coming from the military, what about the police service?
No, this is the police, fire service,
all of them
Ghana
combined.
Immigration, yes, because it was the internal recruitment exercise by the Interior Ministry.
It is pretty dangerous. I think we're taking it for granted. We're taking HIV/AIDS for granted because perhaps there's medication, something to sustain people. I hear when you're on that medication, you're good to go.
Yeah. The medication allows you.
What we also don't know is that you can take preventive medication against HIV/AIDS. So if I take that medication or that injection and I had a sexual relationship with somebody who has HIV/AIDS, I would not get infected.
But that medication, is it easily accessible?
It is currently in Ghana, yes.
They say is also quite expensive.
Yes, it's in Ghana.
How long, when you take it, how long does it prevent?
I don't know about the long lasting, but the point is that it just prevents you from catching it.
Well, that's true.
Or getting infected. So that also is available in Ghana. So if you want to do that, you can do it and have your freeway with people. But I mean,
the freeway at the barber shop.
Yeah, the freeway. You know, it's early morning, so some of these things we can't discuss. But you know, when it comes to sex, it's very difficult to control people's emotions. Very few people have the discipline of protecting themselves when it comes to sex. For most people, the fact that you and I are having a rapprochement and we just are good to go, the presumption is that this person is clean. This person cannot be infected. This person will never be infected. I don't think so. So that is what leads us into it. Sex has no sense. The moment it enters, it runs from left to right. I think on this particular subject, I would have ceded to K because he seems to have more experience.
He's missing in the conversation.
Yes.
But we trust him
that.
So we'll leave that for him and you
K.
come and deal with it. But Mawuena, talking about the shipment, the drug shipment, the other leg of the statement from the ministry, I think it has become a story about possible official collusion. Okay, there's also the mention of port security failure, export procedure breaches, and whether Ghana's commercial channels are being exploited by international drug networks. And all of this, when they come together, they would paint a certain picture about the nation's security. Yes, there are agencies that are responsible or that are doing things to deal with drug concerns, but there's also some concerns we can raise. The human factor may be more dangerous than the technology gap. There may be technology that is available to scan and then fix some of these things or detect some of these things, but the scanners and the gadgets alone cannot fix the problem if the people who are operating the system are compromised. And that's what he mentioned, that there's possible collusion from top people or top officials. And he said investigators were interrogating government officials, and that some people within the system, when he says that some people within the system, your guess is as good as mine, appear to be involved. It gives you a strong thinking point that we may not have a border security problem. Ghana may have a trust problem inside the border security architecture. There's also the nature where it was shipped. There's the concern too about organized criminal sophistication. Yeah. Because this is not like something small that somebody caught somewhere. It's a big deal involving government officials that are being interrogated right now. So it looks structured, it looks transnational. This is the one that we have caught. What about the others that we didn't see, if anything like that happened? And then what's the other concern is that what if the Australian government had not found it?
Yeah, it means it would have gone clean.
It would have gone clean, yeah.
From where?
That's all it means.
From Ghana.
Yeah, it would have gone clean. I mean that doesn't come up for a debate at all. It would have gone through.
And what does it say about our security checks when it comes to these things?
Yes.
So Australia for now, it means yeah, free Ghana. You understand?
Yeah. So it was in transit from somewhere through Ghana, right?
I don't know if it was yeah, certainly it was in transit. We don't produce meth here, right? We don't produce meth here. So it came here and then they left from here. Either they came to do the packaging here because we send charcoal to Australia. We send a lot of we export charcoal to Australia.
So I think this is, in fact, is my major concern here, that if Ghanaian officials had no knowledge of the consignment until Australian authorities intercepted it. You understand? And then NACOG officials also admitted that some established export procedures were not properly followed.
Okay.
That's a huge question mark that we should pay attention to. Again, this is the one that has been busted. What about if there are many more that will go through, that will not be busted, or that have already gone through? Raising the question that is export control, are we preventive, or we are only reactive after foreign partners expose the failures that exist within our system? And what lessons can we learn from this to tighten the security and the port so that these things do not happen again? I don't know the image this paints of Ghana at in the international scene, because it came from your country. You did not see it. If it was not for us, this is going on to the market, and millions of people, millions of livelihoods would have been affected.
It's just you could attribute it to the fact that perhaps we have not invested a lot in dealing with such drug menace, like having the investigative skill, having the equipment to monitor, and then having maybe, let's say, a particular department that is responsible for all these things. Usually, when it comes to drugs, the key thing is a tip-off. And if you are not able to trace a tip-off to an address or to a location or to a particular people, it is very difficult. So it is just possible that our department that is responsible for that is not well equipped with facilities that can easily
that is
create
possible.
that. Exactly.
It is also possible that they have the ability to, but they just found a way around it.
Yeah, possible. Yeah, it is possible that they found a way around it. Or, you know, we have this familiarity kind of thing. So it's Crosby. I know him. He always exports charcoal. So there's nothing wrong. It's charcoal business all along. somebody could corner Crosby somewhere and then put these things in. You get it? So for me, I think familiarity is one thing that's not supposed to seep into the security network. Everybody is a suspect. When you work under the security code, everybody is a suspect. Until you've been able to strip them naked and know that there is nothing on them. Everybody, for a security-minded person, is a suspect. So in all these things, because we know our own people, because we have a certain affinity towards them, it is difficult for us to do. But when it comes to tracing the drugs, I think that they have done a lot of orientation with Interpol coming in to train. They travel outside there to get some training and all that kind of thing. So I wouldn't say they are bereft of the techniques.
Exactly. It does not sound as
exactly.
though
We don't know.
It's just
perhaps it's a lapse.
That kind of thing.
It's a lapse. It's just like the 6-minute thing that the African teams do. It's a lapse. In the last minute, we just let these drugs slip. And
if it is a lapse, there are few...
I'm not sure we can just say just a lapse. There are persons who might be profiting from what happened.
True.
And as much as the point I was going to make when Crosby raised these very important points was that since the coming into office of John Mahama, there's been a number of drug busts.
Yes.
And I mean, consistently, I kept asking the question: is it a case of security officials upping their game, or drug official, or persons who are
officials? Drug lords.
But I think Raymond Dacha is playing a very key role in this thing because of his background.
Losing technique.
Exactly. Or they are becoming emboldened to want to do more, which is the reason why they are being reckless. Right? It could be a lot of things because particularly last year, there were a number of them, cocaine and some other things on major roads and all that. And I kept asking the question, coupled with Reverend Intim Fojo, when he came and made the allegation that some airplane had come into the country and the lights and everything had gone off. As much as
320 kilograms.
Right. As much as there was debate as to he should prove, I think it was a cue, or should have been a cue for a bit more in terms of rigor, right, in these things. So this coming along the way suggests that, maybe there may be some element of truth that persons are actually profiting. And if the minister's comments are anything to go by, persons played active roles to let this slip.
Happen. Then it raises these questions that in the value chain or in the chain of operations when this was discovered, who failed to follow procedure? Which individual, which group of people failed to follow a certain procedure that could have helped to detect this before it left the country? And then we can also look at a particular agency who may have failed or which may have failed in their work to allow this to happen. And, well, there's the concern or allegations of collusion and all of that. But most importantly, too, is that as investigations are ongoing, what happens after the investigation? Because the concern or the suspicion is that after investigations are done, and then we realize that it is people who are connected people, then we leave it like that. It means we are still very likely to have these things happening again. What should happen after the investigations are conducted, and then what punishment are we giving to people so that we don't see these things repeating themselves?
There seem to be two things involved here. Number one, like I said, there must be a tip-off before somebody follows through to trace.
But
there must be a trail.
But you've heard these days they are asking for money before they tip off.
Oh, really?
Yes, I think. I read it somewhere in the news.
Or there must be a trail. You must have known that there's a pattern. We are following person A and person B and person C. So we've been following them for a year, 2 or 3. If we are not able to establish that, it will be difficult for the authorities to just identify. But the lapse is very serious because if going out, these things are allowed at our security checkpoints, what about things coming in also? because it's the same security apparatus that operates within that tangent of space.
But are you surprised?
I am not.
Have you been to
92.7
La Paz at night?
No.
There's an area, there's a pub called Bigot. Have you been there at night?
Oh, I've heard Bigot.
Okay. Maybe you should visit another place just around the Gun South Municipal.
Really?
Yes, called Choice.
Uh-huh.
Where
What happens there?
Where you go and make choices.
So there are drug addicts there?
Shazina Twazi.
You know?
So,
we may think it's not,
and I mean, I'm even talking about immigration. How?
Okay.
Because we have foreigners who even come into this country and conveniently sell drugs, like peddle drugs and things like that. You know, we have foreigners who come into this country for prostitution.
Yeah.
So
it beats my mind because I see them clearly on the road. So
yes, they are there. Yeah. Like, I mean, East Legon at night.
Yeah. I see them.
Cantonments, American Embassy, that runabout. They are there. Togo Embassy, I mean.
Yeah.
That runabout. They are there. These days, they are even scattered everywhere than they used to. When we were younger, I mean, see them hiding, but now they are just...
They use drugs a lot.
Open space. Yeah. Yes. And they do abuse drugs.
Yeah.
So
there's sex and drugs. So they
yes.
say the two go hand in hand.
Work together.
Sex and drugs.
But if you wonder how they are, the foreigners are even, and not to be xenophobic.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, if you wonder how foreigners are able to enter this country, look, they are 14-year-olds indulging in prostitution, 15-year-olds indulging in prostitution. At Choice, at Bigot, in some of these places. So a law enforcement, are they telling us they don't know what's going on?
They see.
They
see. And trust you me, should I say this thing or not? Okay, let me just quote it properly, so nobody says I'm scandalizing them. If you have a child who goes to these foreign schools, high-end schools, top-class schools, be very careful when they tell you they are going for a party, a friend's party, or a prom night, or a school party.
Sleep out,
and
sleepover, and all.
Look, the latest thing I never knew: balloons.
Oh, you're getting to find out.
There's this balloon drug, and that
we've actually done. We've actually done a lot of stories.
Lord God Almighty!
We've
but I think it's good to echo it again.
We've done stories on it, but it's fair. I mean, when they go out, you see when you see them holding balloons at the party. Helium gas.
They are blowing air into the balloon.
It's helium gas, and then
from the balloon.
My first experience was at Accra Mall. So these guys park a Range Rover, two of them, and then they opened the boot to the car, and they were sitting there, and they are dressed like some yo-yo guys.
Yeah.
I mean, baggy trousers, singlets, and like upcoming musicians, that kind of feel. And he had this balloon, and the other guys who had it, and he would just put it on his lip a little bit, and then it comes back out, and I was like, hey, what is this new style of trying to con girls? You are using balloons. What kind of balloon balloon lab is that?
I want to say con girls.
Paul Amantem.
Then the balloon was reducing in size.
Yeah.
Then it got to a point, and he goes to the car. I don't know what he did. He refilled it. Then the balloon came back, and I was like, okay.
Laughing gas.
Then I left.
Yeah, that's a new trend.
Then a friend tells me what happened because he is an event planner. And
do you know what is Onkolos?
No.
Okay.
And he says he organized an event and they brought balloons. And all the students were
excited.
And after that,
I was listening to a teacher speak on these issues recently, and I was so heartbroken because back then when we were in high school, I mean, you dare not. Even Coca-Cola was what it was because they believe it gets you hyper and things like that. But these days, in a our secondary schools, our basic schools, even. So I think it's good you echoed that warning. Not just children or parents whose children are in international schools. Not just that. Even the public schools, my brother. Like, it is so rampant. It has. It's everywhere now.
Wow.
So I think it's just a call to parents, all parents, who are nurturing teenagers, to be very mindful and deliberate in ensuring that they live a drug-free life, and are also, avoid the company of bad friends. So if you're a parent and you are not doing the needful, just know that the hate you give little infants messes everybody up.
They just do the drop-offs.
Yeah.
Pick the child, drop them off, go away. I'm picking you up tomorrow morning, or I'm picking up at a certain time. And then.
Oh, well, I would say maybe, they also have busy schedules. They have to provide for their families. Well, maybe a quick drop-off, but at home the relationship is intimate and things like that. But I think that the core...
Yeah, the question is that you pay extra attention to the parent.
You must be more deliberate.
There's research that has shown that for parents, the people who now are raising your children are not you, the parent. It is the child's friend who is raising the child on your behalf. So be very careful who your child chooses as a friend.
Hey.
Be if you like, be involved.
The concern is that
to steer your child in the right direction when it comes to choosing friends. Else,
someone else will raise a child for you.
Someone will raise your own child for you, and the person is not an adult. The person is your child's friend.
Another blind person ushering you.
And you'll be surprised there are even adults doing that.
Yes. This matter, it happened at Dansoman.
You find adults who are very comfortable.
We'll get the story. For now, let's do sports.
I wanted to just mention the few drug busts that have been made this year. So this the latest one that we've just spoken about. Paydu Junction cocaine seizure in Cape Coast, and this was in March.
Junction.
Yes, March 2025. About 3.3 tons of cocaine. And
3.3 tons.
Yes. Another cocaine hidden in packaged Gary at Kotoka in February 2026.
So this year there's been a cocaine bust as well. That's why I asked
Volta region cannabis, June 2026.
Oh, as for the cannabis,
we should leave it.
that one we grow it. I know if you go to the Volta region, they grow it.
It is very necessary. We need it.
And then cannabis trafficking.
We
Also,
but so far as I think Patrice, as much as we think we need it, so far as the law has not been.
In fact, the minister was speaking about.
No, it's been commercialized now for commercialized,
but not for recreational use. Recreational use.
Spoke about it.
So far as it remains illegal,
What I'm saying is that there should be a deeper conversation along that line. We are being blinded. We are being fooled.
We'll have a conversation. Let's do sports now.
We need to do sports.
And
6 minutes.
And the sports segment, I want to dedicate it to Noura Mohammed. Yesterday, she could not go home. She was supporting Egypt. And then she's a Messi hater. So
she will come and meet me in the office today.
In fact, she will come and do news at 10. We are waiting for her.
She will come and meet me today.
She's
as to why she's on that path. She will meet me today.
For somebody who has known me for like 12 years,
Mutara Yakubu, gross misbehavior.
Right from
Gross misbehavior. Gross misbehavior.
I was the sports guy. I come in like this right from school. Then I just get to TV3 and you forget my name. Like,
How many times I forgot you? What if I was playing around?
you were not playing around, boss.
Mutala Yakubu.
Boss.
I don't go no Mutala Yakubu.
Boss, you were not playing around. You were not.
Oh, but I've always known your name. So Mutala. Tala Stifler. That's
Charlie, what's up?
Stifler.
You good?
Yeah. I mean, after what God did for us.
Morocco. Oh, of course, obviously.
After what God did for us yesterday. I can.
You don't know. Somebody say you don't know what you have. If you know how Ronaldo fans are bleeding. You know the most difficult job in the world?
Enoch in the newsroom.
No, but
the head of research.
Do you know the most difficult job?
Good morning
in the
to
world?
you. He has been sending me messages since
Enoch,
yesterday.
The most difficult job in the world
About justifications as to robbery and why Ronaldo is the greatest. People were threatening my life yesterday when the game was 2-0.
Mawuena, the most difficult job in the world is hate watch. Especially if you are hate watching
and you are not successful.
And you are not successful. It is extremely difficult. And there are players that if you want to do hate watch, you should be prepared that anything can happen. Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. If you're doing hate watch, but these days it looks like the Messi fans are successful when it comes to the hate watch.
Since 2021, we have been winning. we are winning, and we will continue to win.
Well, let's see what happens.
That's a point. But I mean, away from all of the banter and all of that, I mean, how the game went, Egypt, they are fuming as to referee bias and a lot of that. You watched the game, you were in the studio, you saw it all play out. Unbiased opinion, right? In terms of fair analysis to the refereeing decisions. Where do you stand?
First of all, I was extremely disappointed in Egypt themselves that you are 2-0 up. You have about 11 minutes to go, and then your coach Husam Hassan was bringing in attackers. I was extremely disgusted by the fact that he was trying to bring in attackers. Like, what are you looking for? You are 2-0 up against Argentina.
Maybe get the third.
Just close the door. Just shut the door. They were trying to get the third goal, and I was asking myself, is it getting into his head that okay, this Argentina team is not what like we
it's there for the taking.
So it's there for the taking. We can attack them. Second of all, I think all the decisions that the referee took on the pitch, Egbeta, they were spot on for me. Listen, I'm making a case. They were spot on for me. But you ask yourself, the foul that led to Egypt's goal being chalked off, the second goal. The question is, if it was Argentina, it was the other way round. Would it have gone to VAR, the review and all that? It was a foul. There was no qualms about that. There was a step on the foot of Lisandro Martinez. So it was a foul. The referee had the spot on. But I'm asking myself, if it was the other way round, would the referee have gone to VAR to check and all that? But it was a foul. The tackle on Mo Salah, it wasn't a penalty in a million words. Because Molina got the ball first. The ball was even away from Salah before he clattered into the player. But again, I asked myself, if it was the other way round, would the referee had gone to VAR to check and all that? Yes, I know it's the VAR officials that advise the referee that stop, we are reviewing and all that.
Go to the monitor and see
Go
for
to
yourself,
the monitor.
yeah.
That if they take that, if that is taken as a penalty against my team, I would fume any day. I would fume. I would be extremely angry. Because it wasn't a penalty. Molina got a bit of the ball. He got the ball, not a bit. He got the ball. The ball was behind Salah. Then Salah clattered into him. But if it was the other way round, would it have been the same call, or the referee would have had a different opinion, and the VAR would have had a different opinion? I think Egypt disappointed because they didn't see out the game, and the goals that how does someone miss a penalty in the game, keep his cool as if nothing has happened, end up being the most valuable player in the game, man of the match, because he
Provided
and he
assist,
rode back the years when he went down the wings.
Yeah.
He rode back the years. You know,
I think in both games against Cape Verde and then Egypt, when things were not going well through the middle, he went on to the right wing.
I mean, you remember the days that he was devastating when he was playing down that right wing. And it's always difficult once Messi gets onto that right wing and tries to cut in on his left. I mean, you are finished. He doesn't have the pace now to be doing all the running, but he has the brains and the skill. And once he went down the right wing, they bring in on Lautaro Martinez. And the most crucial part of what Scaloni did, it's been done at Tottenham Hotspur several times. Once Christian Romero goes to play as a third number 9, you are finished. Because he is extremely good in the air. So once the ball starts coming in, you would concede. Egypt should have doubled up at the back rather than bringing on attackers as Osama Hassan was doing.
Yes,
I understand.
He brought Mamouche on.
Mamouche,
and he brought Zidane.
I felt it wasn't necessary. At that point, you needed midfielders, defensive midfielders, and defenders to shut the door because already Salah was stretching the Egypt.
I think they had this other.
Yeah, they had this counter attack where Mamouche. It was 3 against 2. And
that ball, Paredes actually saved the.
Do you know that was a turning point of the game? That when Paredes, it's like you.
It was 2-1 at the time, right?
Yes, it was 2-1 at the time, and Paredes stopping that attack. It was like Argentina scoring another goal to equal.
Because it boosted
the
morale of the team.
Because they were pushing forward. You are playing against a team that kept pushing forward and leaving just one person at the back in Lisandro Martinez. Why would you be bringing on attackers when Salah was stretching the back line? So I was disappointed in Osama.
And they had another, was it a right winger or something? Yeah. The one who made the dazzling run for the disallowed goal.
Yeah. And he even came off as well. So I'm asking myself that all the calls from referee on the day, I felt it was legitimate. But if it was the other way round, would the referee have stood on his ground?
I think the point of where I've seen a lot of people actually raise red flags is the
Salah incident.
No,
which one?
The other one, McAllister's pulling of the shit.
Of the shit. Yeah, I've seen, but I think the referee was rather concentrating on where the action was. You know that it wasn't really.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have argued that irrespective of whether or not it was in the action zone, it was a penalty.
Yeah, but I feel the referee was concentrating on where the action was. But I will tell you that Lisandro Martinez tackle that disallowed the second goal for Egypt, it was a foul. Anywhere on the pitch, it was a stamp on the foot. But if it was against Argentina, would the referee have stood on his ground? That call from Egypt that Salah's the tackle on Salah should have been a penalty.
It's not a penalty.
It's never a penalty anywhere. But again, if it was against Argentina, will the referee have also allowed? I mean, if it was against Lionel Messi, would the referee have whistled for a penalty?
To a great extent, we must be honest and say officiating Messi, Ronaldo, Mbappe, Haaland.
No, it's different.
It's different. We have to be. We have to be honest.
No, it's different.
Right? There's a certain leniency that comes with officiating those individuals.
There's a certain degree of leniency that comes with it.
There's a certain leniency, and I will be a hypocrite to not say that. It doesn't come with leniency for them. I mean, you have to be straight up honest, right? Because we can go back to, and I'm not equalizing it, but you can go back to other incidents within the tournament where you see that decisions are called against big teams, smaller teams. But when there's a big player with a big brand, there's a bit of leniency.
Nothing hurts me more than the third goal that Argentina scored, because I was
switched off
Enzo
completely.
Fernandez. Jumping, Yasser to him.
No, the cross was perfect.
Perfect cross from Lautaro.
It was a
when
perfect.
The pass went to Lautaro, it looks like the chance was already gone because
the commentator even
wide. But Lautaro kept his cool, saw Enzo come in, and Yasser didn't realize that Enzo was coming behind him. And all the 3 goals that Argentina scored, you can't say anything about it. They were perfect goals.
Yeah, there were no complications.
My only issue is the decisions that didn't go for Egypt. Would it have been same against if it was Argentina that was on the other end? But the foul on Lisandro Martinez is a foul any day in football. There was a stamp on the foot.
Yeah.
That ball that Salah went down, it's not a penalty. If they take that penalty against my country, Ghana, I would be furious. But if it was against Egypt, would it have been the same call? Would the referee have stood on this ground and said, okay, this is what I'm going with? That is where the problem is. But, I mean, it was disappointing. To lead 2-0 with about 10 minutes to go and allow yourself. And once Argentina got half the deficit, and it was 2-1, there was pressure on Egypt. You could see that Egypt were going to capitulate. And actually, I'm beginning to believe that how come with all the players on the pitch, the ball fell to Messi? With all these players on the
No, I mean the ball came.
The
ball came back
into perfect positions. Like how?
I'm gonna.
How does he always get into
I'm going to. No, it's not juju. I'm going to tell you. Go back to. There's a video of Pep Guardiola with the Man City players, and says that when Messi passes the ball, he begins to run towards the post. He can smell the goal.
That's why Messi is the best player in the world, because when he passes the ball, he begins to run towards the ball.
He can smell it, right? Because if you watch the game, when he crossed the ball. There was a deflection which fell kindly back to him. He crossed again and he began to run towards. He was expecting someone could connect and head the ball, but he still was running towards the pool. And I mean, a running man meets his luck.
He always anticipates that anything can happen. So let me just get in.
I mean, and you can say the same about Ronaldo as well. He can smell the goal, right? So he can be in his own box when he smells. The ball will be kicked to a forward who is going on the counter attack, and Ronaldo will smell the goal and will run.
But what I don't like is I've seen the Egyptians trying to pin everything on the referee. They didn't cover themselves in glory. They should have shut this one down. 2-0 with 10 minutes to go. They should have. I think going in search of that third goal, I kept asking myself, why would you want to do that? Why would you bring on Mamouche when you should bring on a defensive midfielder or a defender? Because Salah was stretching the back line of the Argentines. And they had left only Lisandro Martinez at the back. So whenever the ball comes, Salah is able to deal with him. So why are you bringing on attackers when you are leading 2-0 against Argentina? Argentina with Messi on the field. A player that can make anything happen. Messi, Ronaldo can make things happen anytime. Even Erling Haaland has become that player. He can make things happen. So you don't leave them. Well, it's one of those things. Now it's left with Morocco as the only shining hope for
the African continent. That's a huge game against France as well on Thursday. That's tomorrow. Colombia, Switzerland. was
Tale Epemio say Colombia come out. Because I wanted Colombia to meet Argentina.
Yeah.
I know Colombia could have easily dealt with Argentina. The South Americans, when they are playing each other, there's no favorite. Even Bolivia can score Brazil or Argentina. So when it's
the football is different.
When it's an all South American affair, the football, the pressure, the tension is different. And I thought Colombia could have done a better job in stopping Argentina. Because where Argentina is going there, it looks like the semi-final, they will get there. It looks like the semi-final.
But they are likely to face England. England has two. That's the only difference.
England have a very
good manager.
I understand.
And
anything can happen.
And that for me is where I believe.
I feel if Argentina turn on their A game, England are no match for them on any day. If Messi decides to step up on any day, Maguire and those people at the back, Jared Kwanzaa and Jet Spence and those, they are no match for Lionel Messi. Even their left back O'Reilly, he's no match for Lionel Messi if he turns up on a day. So I wanted Colombia to qualify ahead of Switzerland, and Colombia can play the buga with Argentina.
No, but Colombia have themselves to blame.
Yeah, to blame
because they had goodness. There was a one-on-one.
It was not just one opportunity,
countless opportunities
to win the game. And once Switzerland saw the game into the penalty shootout, they were okay because the penalty shootout is
everybody's
game, and that is where if you have a good goalkeeper and you have about 5 good takers, the first 5 takers must be extremely good. If you have 5 good takers and a good goalkeeper, you're okay. That is why when it gets to penalty, teams like Argentina, teams like Morocco, they do not panic because they know they have a very good goalkeeper.
And they have good takers as well.
And they have good takers.
Talk to me about the choice of having defenders be a part of the first 5, because in my mind, all the defenders who've taken penalties have missed.
Yeah, and it
started from Jonathan Tah.
It's very surprising because defenders are
because there was Luis Diaz was there. He didn't take a penalty.
You've played the game before. There's something about defenders. They barely change their mind when it comes to penalties. They decide where they are going to shoot towards when they are coming from the back.
Because all of them have blasted, either hitting the bar, over the bar.
What makes one miss penalties is when you get, especially attackers, they miss penalty a lot because they get there
and they are caught undecided.
They are caught in so many
as to where to put the ball.
They decided to go to the right, but maybe the antics of the goalkeeper pointing that you go to the right, play it. Then they decide to change or something. You can easily miss. But defenders, when they make up their mind, they'll just come and blast the ball. But this tournament, it's been surprising how defenders are just. You saw Akanji's penalty.
Yeah, over the bar.
It landed on FIFA's flag at the back where
over the back.
It's been terrible when it comes to penalty shootout with defenders in this tournament. But I think Switzerland, they were able to keep Colombia at bay, not ensuring that they don't score, get to the penalty shootout, and they took their chance. Their goalkeeper on the day was brilliant with the saves that he made during the penalty shootout. So they have qualified. They will be meeting Argentina, but I don't think they stand a chance of beating Argentina. I would have
never
preferred
say
Colombia.
never.
Yes,
never
but I would
never,
have preferred
right?
Colombia because I feel Switzerland. Let's see.
So let's talk the 4 games now for the quarters. Morocco, France, Spain versus Belgium, England versus Norway, and Argentina versus Switzerland. There are no games today. There's a game tomorrow. Morocco versus France. I believe that will be live on TV3, and so viewers can look forward to it. Perhaps I'll pick quick thoughts, predictions. Morocco, France. How do you see that play out?
Could we have a repeat of what happened in?
That was a semi-finals in 2022.
The semi-final in 2022 where France won that game
by a goal to nil.
2 goals.
It was 2 goals. Right?
It was Theo Hernandez and Kolo Muani that scored for France, and I still feel France are very strong, in as much as we all want Morocco to win because they are representing Africa. I still feel France are very strong, and I even feel they've improved massively in terms of their creativity because of Olise in that middle half.
A new dimension to them,
where he's playing more as a number 10, as a right winger. You're not really seeing when things get difficult. He cuts in and tries to give Mbappe those passes, and I still think France has something a bit more than Morocco in terms of their attacking third, even though Morocco still have Rahimi. So I'm looking at Saibari coming off injured in their last game. Will he be fit in time to play?
Suggestions are that he could make the cut.
That is what they are saying.
Playing an injured player.
It looks like they are most potent attacker in here. And on the day, they will be tested greatly by that French forward of Barcola, Dembele, Mbappe.
Bacola is crazy.
Olise.
His finishing is what has to improve.
Yeah, his finishing is horrible.
But
crazy. I still think France have enough to go past them. But if you're asking me any team that could end up winning the tournament, I won't go past France because I feel
I genuinely do not see a team that beats France.
Because I feel they are extremely strong in so many departments. Because a team that still has the likes of N'Golo Kante on the bench, it tells you the quality that they have, and they've also reached their peak where you have a lot of players who would fade out after this tournament. I think Morocco would put up a fight, but it will be extremely difficult. If they win, I'll jubilate, I will celebrate, I will be extremely happy.
But eventually,
coming up against the mighty France, if they win that game against France, then I can believe Morocco have something under their sleeves and can go all the way to the final. Right. But it will be difficult against France.
Quickly, Spain versus Belgium.
I think Spain would win.
England, Norway.
Extremely difficult game. Norway with Odegaard, with Ellen Haaland up front. They are always dangerous. But I'll go with the 3 Lions.
Yeah, I see England winning this one. I'll be very honest.
Yeah.
I see England winning. Argentina, Switzerland. You've made your point already. You see.
I wanted Colombia to play.
Argentina
I don't think if Switzerland win, it will be one of the stories in the World Cup. But I wanted Colombia. Colombia can deal with Argentina.
Yeah, we all knew that, right? We all knew that Colombia will be a tough
teams Argentina
sell.
Is meeting currently. They are making the hits work very difficult. Why should I go to bed and I can't sleep? I'm watching my ceiling. Because I'm reliving in my mind that Messi goal is, and then I open Facebook. The first video I see is Messi's goal. Why?
Mutala, thank you very much for joining us too. Sports, that's Mutala Yakubu with Sports for us.
Let's go.
things happen, it's not in the best interest of our international image. So let me go straight to the point. To one, drugs seized is meth, 320 kg of methamphetamine seized, commercial scale quantity, not petty smuggling. So that is a critical
worthy of mention, right?
Yes. And on the ledger, we have declared cargo. Shipment was declared as charcoal. And aside it being declared as charcoal, frequently used cover cargo for concealment. So the perpetrators frequently used cover cargo for concealment. And that is also a very high strategic significance indicator for our route. We saw it was shipped from Ghana, West Africa to Australia, international supply chain involved. So this is not petty smuggling. This is a cartel in operation. If we even look at the quantity, 360 kg of methamphetamine, that's quite a lot. It should take a cartel to be able to do that. At the detection point, the drugs were intercepted at Port Botany, Sydney. And Ghana's system did not detect it before export.
I think that's been discussed greatly this morning as well. The fact that we didn't detect until it got to Australia before it was detected.
Yes, and I think that's one of the core reasons for raising the question, our big question, is insider corruption Ghana's biggest border security threat. We look at the detection method. X-ray anomalies detected in 2 containers. Technology and risk profiling worked. So if we look at that and we compare it to technology systems, then we know we have a long way to go, because if Ghana's system did not detect it before export and it was detected elsewhere using modern technology, then it's a conversation we should have if we intend to fight drugs. The street value of the 320 kilograms of methamphetamine is about $296 million.
Australian dollars.
Australian
right?
dollars.
But in US dollars,
that's about $208 million US dollars. An extremely high value shipment. So this is not your regular paracetamol or
these are drugs that
antibiotics.
Persons.
We are talking about drugs, and not just any, but methamphetamine. So street deals prevented, 3.2 million street level deals prevented, a massive public safety impact in Australia. And then we look at Australia arrest, 3 suspects charged in Australia, potential maximum penalty, life imprisonment. And then we look at the Ghana arrest, lead suspect, alleged ringleader arrested by NACOG, came after 3-month investigation. If we look at the procedures skipped, NACOG reports indicate established export procedures were not followed. So there was serious compliance breach, which again raises question about Ghana's biggest border security threat. Is it inside corruption? And then we have the systems failure point. Export passed through multiple clearance stages undetected. Raises questions across institutions. Because if you look at the nature of our ports, we have several security agencies positioned there to ensure compliance and ensure that some of these things don't happen. So there was a systems failure along the lines, hence where we find ourselves. And then the response nature as well. Ghana's response was reactive, not proactive. Australia's interception prompted action. And we look at the revenue at risk. Potential proceeds in Ghana, if undetected, is huge. Funds organized crime, corruption and violence, institutional chain as well. We look at the exporter freight, customs, to scanner, to port, to shipping. So this is the process. The exporter, the freight company, customs, a scanner, port, shipping. So many touch points, many risks, but most importantly,
many points to influence
exports
as well.
pass through multiple clearance stages undetected. And then we also look at insider corruption risk. Insider facilitation can bypass controls. Biggest long-term threat to borders. And if we look at the transparency gap as well, we see that no public list of officers questioned or disciplined. Accountability remains incomplete. So now the big question is, who allowed the shipment of 320 kilograms of methamphetamine to pass through Ghana's export system without the required checks?
So that's a big question, which we're going to be putting to our guests who are joining us in the studio as well this morning for a conversation as well. But Kay, thank you very much. That's a ledger of facts which lends us kindly into the big conversations here for you on the 3FM Sunrise. It's one of the many questions we'll be seeking to answer, as well as finding a bit more in terms of an understanding as to the latest Auditor General's report and the Council of State cautioning Parliament against a dual citizenship bill, and then final thoughts as well as to the Ramaphosa incident and his trip to Ghana, which has been postponed. My guests are in the studio with me. This is the 3FM Sunrise. Let's get into the big conversations right now.
The best in the morning is on 92.7 Sunrise on 3FM. The big conversation on 3FM Sunrise.
I'm glad to say I've been joined in the studio by a number of respected persons. Richard Jimfi is a member of the NPP's National Communications team. Has joined me in the studio this morning for a conversation. Richard, good morning to you. I trust at all as well.
Yeah, very good. How are you, my brother?
I'm blessed and highly favored. Thank you as well for asking. Bernard Mawuena is a political commentator, was flag bearer of the PNC in the 2024 elections as well. Mr. Mawuena is joining us in studio as well. He's been in the Ghanaian political space for a very long time. Mr. Mawuena, good morning to you. I trust at all as well.
Good morning. Why am I a political commentator?
No, that's why I said you are.
I am the leader of the People's National Convention. Why are you shy?
No, I'm just adding that. I'm not taking that away from. I actually laid the premise that
Janfi and all others are also politically commentating.
Yes.
So why am
I was quite confused how they described me.
I am the leader of the PNC, and I think that it would be fair to sit there.
It is fair to sit there.
Political commentating belongs to all of us.
Absolutely. So is Ebo Bachman, who is the Deputy Director of Communications. Also in the studio with us. Ebo, yeah, today I decided to do a small fancy to set. Yes, Matthias Alagbo is a member of the NDC's communications team. He will join us as well pretty shortly. But gentlemen, the big conversation, one that we're starting with after the ledger of fact which has been shared with us, is how $208 million worth of meth left the shores of this country to Australia. The Interior Minister yesterday, appearing before the Government Assurance Committee, made some interesting remarks to suggest that there are insiders and also that persons in government are being questioned in relation to this development. There's a premise as well, a context, important context perhaps, that I want to add, that since January 7, 2025, off the top of my head, there's been about 5 drug busts, separate incidents, some involving cocaine, heroin, and others. I think Crosby walked us to a number of them. Even in this year, somewhere in March, there was a cocaine bust story around the Kotoka International Airport as well. And so all of that as proper context raises significant concerns as to whether or not the country is back as a transit point and bad name in terms of everything that happens in terms of drugs. Richard, I want to start with you and have you come in for me on that one.
Thank you, my brother. And I want to say good morning to your cherished listeners and my senior colleagues here. One former presidential candidate.
Yes, presidential candidate.
I want to be clear that it's former, because you may never know when people will put up challenge to him in the next polls. And also,
he's open to it.
It's normal.
and the fact that today is my first time here, I was supposed to be here 10 days ago, and unfortunately, I was flooded out, so I couldn't make it. And my commiserations and sincere empathy towards those people who were affected. I know that's not a question, but 10 days after such a tragedy, it is quite disappointing. If you want to quantify the response from government, is really crass incompetence, insensitive, and in a nutshell, arrogance towards the plight of the people. My utmost worry is currently, if you go to Adabraka, if you go to Odona, if you go to Elang, in Enyasotu, there's filth everywhere. And our kids are still playing on the streets. They are playing football. They are touching the football that's getting into the gutters. They're coming home and eating. And there's this fear of pestilence that is clouding the cities that were affected. Till date, we haven't seen any profound intervention from government, and it's really, really sad. So I'll quickly move on to what you've just asked. Illicit drugs have become a global issue. I think a couple of weeks ago, there was a day where they marked for International Prevention of Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. United Nations Office of Drugs and Crime, just 2025 report, paints a really gloomy picture that in 2023 alone, that year alone, we had over 316 million people taking drugs for the first time. And this is quite serious, because for a single year, we are yet to get the report for 2025. A single year, new people who are entering into the drug business and also testing it for the first time was about 316 million. It goes on. There's another group, Global Initiative Against Transnational Organized Crime. And theirs is really worrying that on the streets of Europe right now, 30% of the cocaine that are being shared or are being transacted in Europe actually pass through West Africa. And guess what? The center of corridor of this transit of illicit drugs is Ghana, unfortunately. And it becomes...
That's according to the report.
According to the report. Now, just 2 weeks ago, we had the narco boss, I think Brigadier something, Brigadier... sorry? Yes, Brigadier General Mante. He was actually crying out for help, saying that he has accepted that Ghana has become the transit for illegal drug trafficking. However, there is more serious threat to our national security, to our human resources, that in as much as we are transiting these drugs illegally out of this country, there's also reports that suggest that young people have now entered into the frame of consuming these illicit drugs in the country. And to blow your mind, the latest report from Kofi Annan Peace, I've forgotten the full name of that. Their report is even damning that they conducted a research in some hotspots that are really peculiar when it comes to drug usage. And interestingly, I live in Adenta, and my neighbors were mentioned that in Medina right now, if you take people of age between 18 to 35, 49% of them are actually using drugs. So it tells you that if you go to some places, if you see two young men or young women, the likelihood that one is into drugs, and this is a national security threat. I hope you agree with me.
92.7.
Now, what are the consequences? The huge chunk of our workforce is the youth. And therefore, if we are not managing this situation well, the consequences is that this country is going to become porous. And your previous co-host was suggesting the scale at which this meth was organized can only be done by cartels. So Ghana then becomes a safe haven for cartels. And when cartels find safe houses, they find this place as safe haven, there are other severe consequences that is going to happen to us. Number one, violence. We know how these guys operate in Mexico, Colombia, El Salvador, and all those places. It will make this country ungovernable.
Right.
Violence and corruption. There is clear evidence that there's been inside collaboration in terms of how this managed to get from Ghana to Australia. Why so? Because this brings a lot of money. Money laundering is second nature, and they will bribe people in high places. What is even intriguing is that they can also infiltrate our security system or our security apparatus because the money is there. Now, the national consequence is that we are going to, and we are facing it, because from the reports that I gave you, it is clear that huge nations, the first world countries, so-called first world countries, are looking at us very carefully. And one of the, in diplomatic terms, is called pressure to comply.
92.7.
Pressure to comply is when other nations who feel that they are mightier than you will interfere in your security details. An example is when the DEA, drug enforcement agencies in other countries, especially Interpol and FBI, will then come into your jurisdiction and conduct operations. You can't say anything.
Because your security would have been lax.
Exactly. And that is what we are facing right now. If you reference Abu Trika, Data Boot, and other
such instances of extradition,
it is a clear pressure to comply situations.
Right.
But let me caution government here. July 2025, Honorable Intim Codjoe in Parliament questioned the intrusive scanners, selective intrusive scanners in our ports and airports were not working. July 2025, it's been 12 months now. And so it beggars believe that we are here discussing this, because it was a no-brainer that if these essential equipment that are supposed to check these illicit drugs passing through our ports to other nations, then clearly there are people that need to be questioned. And so I do not take the interior minister's comments that there are government officials that are corroborating in this. Name them. Where is the Attorney General? If it was to be the other side, he would have granted press conference.
The claim is that investigations are ongoing, and so the persons are not being named.
My brother, is it the first time that investigations are going, that the Attorney General and the authorities in this government have granted press conferences? And even though we know that formatively you are innocent until proven guilty. But check the chronological records of these governments.
Right.
They pronounce you guilty even before you are arraigned before court. And that is my concern.
Richard, thank you. Let me come to Mr. Mona on this subject matter as to if we shouldn't be getting names even as investigations continue, and this should be treated a bit more seriously, because the suggestion is that as at last year, caution was given that some certain scanners were not working, and so if action was taken in that regard, we will not be here possibly today.
Good morning to you, to Jamfi, and to Bookman, and to our other colleague. I'm sure he will be listening while he's on his way here. It is like we keep fetching water into a basket, and we expect that water to stay for us to utilize. So anytime we go to the stream and we fetch the water, by the time we get to our destination, the basket is empty. Then we go back, we fetch water, we get back, the basket is empty. The more we do this, it exposes our idiocy. Clearly, this is not the first time our nation is embroiled in issues about drugs and drug-related buses. In Ghana, on the third or fourth floor at the police headquarters, 77 parcels of cocaine got missing. We are talking about the police headquarters. And that is a very tight security area. For the records, you are not permitted to pass certain boundaries within the police with your vehicle. You must be so special to be allowed to get closer with your vehicle. There is a general parking lot that you will be allowed to park. Beyond that, the rest of the journey is to be done on foot.
They'll be stopping you and be asking
and then
questions.
They will check you. They will frisk you. Yet 77 parcels got missing at the very top of our security. So what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? We are in this country where cocaine and other substances that are busted all of a sudden turn into flour konkonte. How many of such can we count? By the time they are exhibited in court, the lawyers will come and say, "My lord, this is not cocaine. Let's test it." They will take it and return and say, "This is konkonte." And the suspects are freed. I recall one time one of the Director General of Operations of the Police Service, says that he goes out there to arrest criminals. The criminals bring everything. He declines. He goes after them, get them arrested, and then the courts will set them free. He will go on retirement. And when he goes on retirement, he will not have the security to protect him. What do you think the criminals will do to him? For busting them? For exposing them? And nearly causing the downfall of their empires. So is the system that we operate. That somehow some institutions have found themselves freeing these criminals. And you want somebody to go and put his neck. And I recall that security, possibly for fear that now he's on retirement, for fear that I will expose him more. I'm sure all of us know him. He's on retirement today. And I'm sure he's afraid of his life, as he pointed out when he was in the service. That look, in the 77 parcels of cocaine, I was central. People felt that their kingdoms were being crushed. In the end, they were freed. But they will not forgive
the person who caused their arrest. Because all of us know that the drug world is a very dangerous and widely connected. And so if you are not careful, whilst you are busting drugs here, somebody in America and other places, we've seen people come to Ghana, go into entertainment center, shoot people, they are gone. When you investigate, they were into drugs and they suspect that the person was going to leak. They will come, shoot the person and go. And up to date, we've not been able to trace such.
92.7.
That should be the challenge that we all face. And so, yes, there may be people that will just allow these things to go because they also fear for their lives and that of their families.
The system is not doing well.
The system is not doing anything to protect them. And in the end, we will come and go through our tightest system of courts. You come, they will defer, they will postpone, they will adjourn, they will do anything that they want to do. Eventually, these persons are left off. But the people who stood for integrity, it is they who are going to suffer. And for me, that is where we should be looking at. Why are these things persistent? Despite the many exposures that we have overcome. And so that is my first point. The second point that I want to establish is, do we produce
methamphetamine? No, we don't produce
it here.
We don't produce it.
Where did it come from? Why is it being seen as it's originated from Ghana by the Australian authorities? Certainly it is not produced in Ghana. We don't have the capacity to do so.
At least
it came from somewhere into Ghana. Where did it come from? How come that those authorities failed to get to the bottom, to arrest, to see, and yet it got to Ghana? And when it left Ghana, Ghana now becomes the source from where this thing is coming from. And some people somewhere wants to bastardize Ghana as being the dungeon for drugs. I don't take that easily. Because if we are producing it in Ghana as we produce cassava, we produce yam, and then it is busted, and we are exporting it, yes, then we have a challenge. But these things came from somewhere. It eluded every other security network and got to Ghana. And of course, from Ghana, we can say it's an oversight. But you see, all of us know how even the police do their checks. When we all go out now, 4 of us driving the separate vehicles, not all of us will the police stop.
Depending on the kind of man, arrest.
Yeah. You understand? It's not all of us that the police will stop. They may stop Jamfi or Bachman because their cars may look more plush than mine. Yeah. They may stop mine because it looks smoky. And allow the rest to pass. It doesn't mean that they are not checking. They are checking. But those that have passed, what is inside? So they can't stop every vehicle. Right. In similar vein, at our various spots, they will do some spot checks. And just giving you a personal example, I don't want to disclose. I'm sure that the security knows what I'm talking about. On the way to I saw a G-Wagon. Is it G-Wagon? Yes. Then all of a sudden, as it was going, the police pulled out, surrounded the vehicle. The young men that came out, G-Wagon, they opened the car and they found charcoal.
92.7.
And when they opened the charcoal, they found some substances there. The security know what I'm talking about. This is just less than a week.
And it was actually, the meth was in charcoal as well.
Do you understand? They found charcoal in G-Wagon, and when they cut the charcoal open, then they found some substances inside the charcoal.
Why charcoal? That should be a very good question to ask.
Do you understand? So clearly, you see the kind of car I'm talking about. How many people are able to obtain it? And so you must be of a certain class to have it. If it was not for tip-off, I'm not sure that the police would have been able to apprehend those people.
Yeah.
I've not come across that story in the news yet. This story I'm talking about, I've not come across it in the news yet. Yet it happened just a week ago. So my conclusion is that we have a challenge. One, Ghana doesn't produce cocaine, nor heroin. Ghana doesn't produce methamphetamine, and yet they are in Ghana. How did they get here? Surely they came through some sources. Those sources, how was it that we're not able to apprehend them? And when now they left Ghana and get to Australia, then the Australians are tracing it and say it's from Ghana. No, that is not the trail. It must be trailed and traced
back to
where it originated from before it came to Ghana.
Right. Ebo, come in for me on this, and
my colleagues have said much.
Why would Kabila come later and say we should move for him?
Ebo, proceed for me whilst
3FM 92.7.
You see, the issue is that the security architecture of every nation is only as strong as its weak link or weakest link. You see, these traffickers, one thing they do is that they always look out for weaknesses in a security system and they exploit it. That's all that they do. That's why, as we speak, one of the major headaches of American government is dealing with the issue of drugs. They will always look out for weaknesses in your security systems, and once they find that weakness, they will exploit it. And that's what they do. Because they know they can easily bribe people. So long as we are running a system that involves human beings who have that pension to be rich and to live a good life, these things will continue. I'm telling you. NACOC has done a good job over the years. But I'm telling you, as the hunter keeps shooting without missing, the birds will always fly without perching. It is always difficult to deal with these people because of the human involvement. With that said, I think what we need to do is to improve our technology, screening technology, and other technology that we use at our ports. And as much as possible, reduce the human involvement. That is the only way out. You see, you can't stop it completely. But let me also tell you this. Sometimes, before one is busted, they've allowed about 3 to go through.
3FM.
That's what they do. That's what the security people do. Before they will arrest you as a trafficker, probably the first time you were going, because they didn't know the source, they didn't know your destination.
Obviously, for investigation purposes.
So they will allow you to go through.
I think what we've been even told was that in Australia, they allowed the meth to be cleared from the ports all the way to the warehouse before they picked them up. So they traced and tracked
that's what
them
they do.
All the way through.
That's what they do. And it's really difficult to deal with these people. Because let me tell you, they are very dangerous people. They have the money, they have the means, they can kill. They can do whatever, how do you call it?
Contract killings and
I mean,
but wouldn't that also be us throwing our arms up in despair?
No,
that these people are powerful and they can do whatever
you knowing who they are and what they do should rather equip you to do the right thing. That is why we need to intensify our intelligence gathering as a nation. Those that we recruit to the intelligence unit of our security system, you must make sure the right people are recruited. And those that you also employ to man these scanning machines should be people of a certain character.
Yeah.
I mean, these things have gone on over the years. It's only when they are caught that you become aware of. But when they go through, nobody hears about it. It is important as much as possible in dealing with corruption. This is one area we need to look at. Pay more attention or much attention to ensure that people who allow some of these things to go through
3FM
and also come in, go out and come in, must be dealt with. Richard Jemfi says something which is quite significant. The issue of when it passes through Ghana, at least a certain quantity will be left here. And that is why our youth also become vulnerable. They get hooked to it, and whether we like it or not, we are destroying the future human resource of the nation. So it is very important. I'm excited. They said some people have been busted.
Yeah, there's been a number of arrests.
Yes,
I think Mr. Mona is even
and they are doing
mentioning
serious
some arrests
investigations
as well being made. Yesterday, was it 2 days ago, I caught wind of some security bust somewhere. I'm not too sure what it was about, but there were a number of officials who were engaged in some activity.
What we don't want to see or hear is the way those that happened in the past were handled. You hear about it, then suddenly you all go quiet on it because of the way they're able to control the system with what they have. We want to follow this one through to its logical conclusion.
Also because of the international dimension, right? That puts a bit more pressure on us.
And so, yes, let's do what we are supposed to do as a nation. This is not the first time we've arrested people. People have been arrested in relation to drugs. The question is, what have you done internally to ensure that Ghana doesn't become a transit point? It doesn't give us a good image out there. And so whatever that we will do to stop it, let's do and stop. It doesn't work out for us.
Matthias, good morning to you. He's a member of the NDC's communication team. You just joined us. You didn't come earlier, so Mr. Mona was asking why he had to make room for you. But I trust that all is well with you.
I am well, except that I suffered a battery breakdown, so that's what actually delayed my coming. But apart from that, I'm hailing hearty.
92.7.
Reset of Ghana is in progress.
Yeah,
reset if your battery.
That's what his battery got.
His battery got reset. You say resets. It will beg the question as to the ports as well, whether a reset is happening and why drugs are coming in, because it didn't come out of the earth from Ghana before it went to Australia. It came in first before it went away. And there's been a number of such incidents, at least since President Mahama took office. We've had Reverend Ntim Codjoe, the Honourable Member of Parliament, raise a number of questions. Richard Jemfi has even mentioned specific details as to scanning equipment which were not working. And now we're told some government officials may have been involved in this Australia one, which is bringing international embarrassment to the country as well.
My brother, let me use the opportunity to say a blessed morning to all our cherished listeners, and also to the teaming actors within the NDC that are supervising our ongoing branch elections across the country. So far, I would say everything is going on very well, and we appreciate their job. And also, let me quickly just delve into this matter. I think that every Ghanaian should be concerned about what has happened or the latest development, because it certainly touches on our national security and our international reputation. Because in time past, I think in the era of President Kufuor in particular, we got to a point where our international reputation with regard to drug, either facilitating or engaging in drug trafficking and all that kind of thing became so bad that state officials somehow were, subjected to searches at airports, in the international system. And that was quite embarrassing. But I think that we've turned the corner, and our reputation currently in the international system has been one of a remarkable one because of the measures that have been put in place. And I have to give warmly commend His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama for what he has done over the period, because I think NACOC has been well strengthened in terms of its operational capacity. Our cooperation with the international systems in fighting drugs has been strengthened quite solidly. And so I think that what has just happened is a blip. But what is quite remarkable about this is the fact that under the government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, you will not be shouldered. And that is why I'm happy listening to the Interior Minister that swift investigations are ongoing and that people have been picked up. And, whilst coming, I was really enjoying the presentations by the leader of the PNC. Let me help to re-establish that he is the leader of the PNC.
Absolutely.
Mr. Bernard Mona, more or less highlighting the fact that arrests have been made. We are all looking up to the judiciary to see, because the police can do their job. The investigating arms of the state can do their job. But when the people have been presented before court, I think the Ghanaian people would like to see justice being done. That said, we cannot ignore it. And back to my first comment that we should be concerned, because if you look, I very much agree with one earlier speaker that said that this is not any petty, more or less like trafficking. It's something that involves a multi-million dollar, value worth of drugs. Should tell you that this are work of cartels. And the fact that there's so much money involved give me the fear that they could possibly exploit weaknesses in our security systems. I've heard the Interior Minister said we have up to date, we have very current equipment, detection systems at the airport, at the port of entry, Tema Port and everywhere else. So the question will be, how were we not able to detect all this? And that should give you reason to believe of some level of international cooperation with regard to the cartel business, because it did not originate from here, like Bernard has said. And so probably some cartels are working with their local actors in Ghana, and probably somebody who's supposed to be doing his job either sleep on the job or has been compromised in a way. And I believe that the investigation should be able to unravel all this, and the reputation of Ghana should not go 1 inch down. And I think that we can maintain as a result of the decisive action of government in terms of prosecuting anybody that is found culpable. So there's no doubt at all that we must all be concerned, because the reputation of our country is concerned, the image of our country is concerned, and somebody said that pieces of those or quantity of them will be left behind. This morning while I was preparing to come here, I watched a video of a young guy from my region. That's my heart. It breaks my heart. Very intelligent guy, went back to school, trying to educate that look at how I've messed myself up through drug use, and I just want rehabilitation. And you ask yourself, and he said, for every morning by 6 a.m., you would have used about 100 Ghana cedis worth of drug already. And how do you fund that? By trading in scraps. That is just at this level. And those who are engaging in armed robbery, killing people, are just these desperate drug users in town that want to more or less assess their next fix. And these are people who level of the compassion has left them because of their exposure to these hard drugs. And I think that His Excellency the President John Dramani Mahama and then his government will not sit aloof to let Ghana go back into this path.
The question is if we will get the full details and full disclosures as to persons who played a role in this, and for it not to be hashed, because we've seen in times past, I don't recall readily off the top of my head, almost all the big name busts and persons whose names are published, they are arrested outside. Naile Ametefe, he was arrested outside before NACOC went in to seize property and all of that. The big question is, with the minister telling us there are possible government linkages, Are we to see these individuals named possibly and courses of action taken such that, like Ms. Mawuena made reference to, it gives persons of integrity a foundation to want to report and come forward with similar such notices?
Where there has been challenges in time past as far as our history as a nation is concerned, I think I'm in a comfortable place to provide that rock, iron-clad assurances that under the government of President Mahama, no soul will be saved. I mean, in terms of if you are found to be culpable, I'm not sure nobody will be protected because the record has been there. Not only under his government, where people who have been tagged to be corrupt actually tried in law courts. They were actually convicted, and people are serving their term, and or have served their term. And I believe that President Mahama will not move an inch from that track record, because we cannot, on the basis of protecting one individual, drag the image and reputation of this country into the mud, or be seen in the international system as though, as a government or as a country, we are back to the days of darkness, where we want to be opaque in how these things are handled. What matters, though, is when the investigations are completed and some prima facie cases are established, and there's certainty and clarity of the involvement of people, I think it is fair that the names will certainly come out, and then those people will find their day in court. I mean, as part of our security and prosecutorial architecture is concerned.
Right. I'm just going to come finally quickly, because I see, Richard, you have a few comments in that regard as well, and then I'll go for this quick break. When we return, then we switch lanes into Auditor General.
I'm just surprised that whenever we are discussing issues, national issues, there's always the tendency for my brother from the other side to politicize and shower undeserving praises on President John Dramani Mahama. My brother, since John Dramani Mahama became president, 18 months, there's not a single input in terms of equipment at the port. Zero. When Reverend Intim Codjoe made that pronouncement on the floor of Parliament, Minister of Interior accepted that, yes, these equipment are defective. I can say on authority that today the equipment are still defective. And I mean the intrusive defective scans. Now, one of the issues is also that whenever government changes hands, there's this tendency to clear everybody, irrespective of your skills, your understanding, your intellectual property. I mean, what you've learned so far in that particular environment is totally negligible by the new government. So they sack everybody and bring in, there's this mantra we say, job for the boys. So now, if you go to our entry points, it is so cumbersome, especially the airport. For every stage, a gentleman or a lady will call you, let me see your passport. Then you move on, let me see. When there is that cumbersome, uncoordinated security scheduling in our entry points, it breeds these things that people are able to traffic these drugs through. And so it is really disappointing. Since we've taken 3 submissions, everybody seems to be giving objective recommendations to government, only for my brother to come here and start showering praises on John Dramani Mahama. If we really want to solve this issue, like Benamona said, it is agreed that meth is not being produced here. But from the report I gave you, the UN report, the Transnational Organization Against Crime, even our local research from Kofi Annan tells you that the worrying, and Ghana is becoming the hub for transit I think we've all agreed that we are not producing it here. But the problem is that we are becoming renowned for transit of these illegal drugs. And so if you come here and say that President Muhammad this, President Muhammad that, I mean, I think we should discuss these issues objectively with national interest at heart rather than parochial partisan interest.
Matthias, I suspect you want to chip in briefly.
I just want to.
You want me to?
I just want to assure him. I'm quite objective when I say I commend President Muhammad. See, the Chinese built a Great Wall, but that Great Wall was penetrated so many times. They were attacked irrespective of that Great Wall just because of those who manned the gates. Okay, if you look at someone like General Mante, who's currently heads the narcotic control. So when we are talking about, it's not just the equipment. The equipment are there. I'm not sure, like you rightly said, you don't expect that when President Muhammad took office, we should remove people who have been trained, sent on courses that were manning those equipment, or we should equally remove even the machines. We couldn't remove them because they are state assets and that they are still useful, so they are there, okay. But the personnel, even the personnel that are currently heading those institutions are people of utmost integrity, people who you can't bribe. But like we rightly said, when these international drug cartels are after you, you have to, sit up, because the weaknesses of man can always be exploited. Are you getting me? And for the fact that some security personnel is sitting there and then they come and promise you $200,000 if you can just look away, perhaps the investigations will eventually lead us there. Right. That you get to know that maybe the one who even let go of that does not even know the value of what is at stake, and probably you'll be wondering if perhaps it comes out about what was the motivation, what was the reward for letting that go. And I can assure you, with what I know President Muhammad to be, nobody will be shielded. And that is what comforts me, and every Ghanaian should be assured of that. And I'm not trying to say, of course, we had a past history that wasn't a very good one. And I think that you can only discuss the presence when you're able to trace well back into history. So my brother should not be worried at all about that.
But I have this to say, but Chigenfi, you also have to be fair that even your introduction, when you started this conversation today, your introduction was purely politics. When you addressed the issue of flooding. I mean, your approach was purely political. Of course, we are discussing politics as well. So if somebody had decided to praise his president for what he has done, and you think the president has not done enough, you can also go your tangent. So, but I don't think you have to accuse the person for going the way.
And then I just want to remind him on the issue of the flood, okay?
As for the flood,
he mentioned
it is clear leadership deficiency.
We are not talking floods because there are a host of other matters. Let me take this break.
As for the flood, if you have to go into the flood issue,
then when I return, then we'll do a bit more. This is a 3FM Sunrise. Stay with us. Just a quick break, right? A quick break. We'll return and then we'll get into other matters for you.
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December.
How's your week treating you? I'm here to serve you great music tidbits for your at-work listening pleasure.
Rastafari, Rastafari, Rastafari. Our Father, who art in Zion, Kanamawe.
Kanamawe, Otonono.
In the silence, something was growing. The journey continues. The calm before the storm.
Into some other matters for you here on the big conversation. We're going to talk the Auditor General's report, and so we as well speak to the Council of State's letter to Parliament considering the dual citizenships bill. That's where I want us to start from before we get into Auditor General, because that's been a raging debate whether we allow persons who wield dual citizenship into specific positions in this country. There are two enactments, the Citizenships Act and then the Chapter 8 of the Constitution as was amended in 96, which barred dual citizens or persons who are believed to owe allegiance to other countries from holding positions. But after an imprisonment of a former member of Parliament, Adamusa Kande, and the near imprisonment of another in Richard Jachi Kwesin, there's been a private member's bill from both sides of the House seeking to have a legislation which will amend that portion of our laws. There's been great debate, but now the Council of States says Parliament should hasten slowly on that front. I want to start with Ms. Mawuena on this. The fear has always been what could be if we allow such persons hold the position. Now the Council of State appears to be throwing in their side of the argument as well. Do we still need to proceed on this tangent?
It is Malcolm X who says that coffee loses its essence when it is mixed with milk. It's no more black and cannot continue to carry the values of coffee. And so, in similar vein, you cannot want to be a Ghanaian and still want to hold the nationality of a Beninois or Togo or the United Kingdom or the United States or any other country. You are Ghanaian, you are a Ghanaian. You should be proud of that identity than to divide your identity, your loyalty, and above all, your commitment.
3FM 92.7.
Recent developments should even tell us that it's not worth it. The reason why Ken Ofori-Atta struggled a bit in the United States is that he was not a citizen of the United States. He could have easily acquired the citizenship of the United States, given the portfolio of Minister for Finance, and when he leaves Ghana, he is an American. And when he is in America, he is not a Ghanaian. As simple as that. So there is the danger. There are many professionals I've listened to, and last night I read one from one of my most respected brothers, who said that all remittances, people who contribute money, should stop sending money to Ghana unless the law is passed. And ended up by saying good night. I couldn't come publicly to tell him your night will be forever. But I didn't agree with him. Because there are many people who will maintain their nationality, irrespective of how long they have lived. I stand for correction. Was Kofi Annan any citizen of any country?
I don't really... It's not on record to have had any...
He, from day one till the end, has maintained his Ghanaian nationality, despite the many or several years of working outside Ghana, working with the international institutions. His identity as Ghanaian was never compromised. It didn't deny him opportunities. He got to the highest diplomatic levels in the world.
3FM.
He was a Ghanaian.
92.7.
There are many. It is only those who feel that there are some opportunities in being other countries' nationals and that they don't want to miss those opportunities. So you can go. Be an American, be an Australian, be a British. Don't come and force us to pass laws that will permit you to be a citizen of our one country and still hold our citizenship.
The argument is that you're losing out on valuable skills, persons who've attained valuable skills who can contribute greatly towards the.
So if you want to be a Ghanaian,
country.
you are a Ghanaian. There are Ghanaians who are great. The fact that you decided to go and become American means that you don't cherish even your heritage. You don't. Chief, some ones of us also got similar opportunities. But our pride will not permit us to go and subordinate where we come from. And I'm sure it's on record that at any given opportunity, I'll tell you and identify myself as somebody from Sankana. Do you know Sankana?
I'm yet to be there.
Backman, do you know Sankana?
Take me there one of these.
Kabila, you know Sankana? Jamfi, do you know Sankana? How many people know Sankana? When you ask me where you from, I'm saying I'm from Sankana. My mighty village. If you want, I call it the United States of Sankana. Do you understand? That is where I come from. Yet those who have managed to come to Sankana will be shocked at the kind of village that I am always proud about. That is who I am. So I take strength in my origins and not in the little opportunities that will be thrown at me. I could have become a German, but I declined. And so I don't see why we should even contemplate. Just because our laws are so flexible that a dual national is permitted to come and go to parliament. And after they have gone to parliament, of course, they come back with some euros, some yen, some yuan, some dollars. When they come and they convert it, it becomes huge money. They are able to meander their way through our democratic systems to enter into parliament.
Right.
And with that and those numbers, we are beginning to say, let's permit them. If you want, denounce your citizenship of that country. Let's be assured of your full allegiance and commitment to our nation, and let's grant you that. Otherwise, people will come, they will earn positions, and it is not only, they are thinking about the valuable expertise they have, but they are not thinking about the likes of the Kenofurata who will come and milk us and then run out and tell you that, well, I've dropped my Ghana passport. I am now an American. And then the laws of America will continue to protect their citizens. What will you do in such instances?
I'll come to Ebu. The fear is, and I see you agree a lot with what Ms. Amona is saying, that, look, if you want to be president...
Are you a wizard to see in his head?
No, he was agreeing with you greatly. That if you want to be Ghanaian, renounce and come and be Ghanaian. But for both sides, they believe there's a lot of reason in this, and we'll get good enough materials to come and lead the country. The people are bringing in resources and what have you. That is justification enough to have them come and occupy these sensitive positions.
Yeah, if you're a Ghanaian and you think you've acquired knowledge, and you are also a citizen of another country, I mean, just renounce and come. Renounce your citizenship there and come and serve your country wholly and fully.
Just 1 second. Frimpong Boateng.
Yeah, Professor Frimpong Boateng.
Very renowned, did everything in Germany. Was he a German?
He was Ghanaian.
Okay.
You see, and let me give you a quote here. The 26th President of America, Theodore Roosevelt. And when I finish, I will place, wherever I see America, I will place Ghana there. And you understand what I'm talking about. It says there can be no divided allegiance here. Any man who says he's an American, but something else also, isn't an American at all. We have room for but one flag, the American flag. Now let me insert Ghana where we find America and say there's no divided allegiance here. Any man who says he's a Ghanaian, but something else also, isn't a Ghanaian at all. We have room for but one flag, the Ghanaian flag. You see, we can't allow people with divided allegiance or loyalty to be occupying sensitive positions in this country. It should never be allowed.
But does a second passport means divided loyalty?
You are talking about dual citizenship. Dual citizenship.
Where the loyalty means what? Because that's, I think, at the heart of this conversation is allegiance and loyalty.
There's always the possibility of loyalty conflict. Sovereign loyalty conflict. A Ghanaian who is also a Togolese. Take a situation where a Ghanaian who is also a Togolese, and Ghana has entered into a conflict, whether diplomatic conflict or military conflict with Togo. Where will be the person's allegiance?
Would it not be the oath of office they take? They would have taken an oath of office. So an oath which binds them to that office, and they've not taken one.
No, of course you can't be. But how can you say you've taken oath of office of any citizen? Automatically, you have oath of office or allegiance to your state.
I mean, there are duties of a citizen and all of that.
Yeah. So where we have that conflict, we shouldn't allow it to exist at all. Are you getting it? I mean, check. Look, just consider this situation also. That you have an American citizen who is also a Ghanaian citizen, who is a cabinet minister. He sits in a cabinet meeting. They discuss serious national security issues at cabinet meetings, serious economic issues at cabinet meetings. And you think we should allow that thing to happen when the person is a citizen of another country? Don't you think there could be possibility of the person leaking information?
No, you have no, make it more clearer. You have a Ghanaian who is also a citizen of the United States of America and is the Minister for Defense or Interior.
Yeah.
And you think that you have security?
No, do you get a point? It's not something that we should entertain at all. Then, as Bernard said, there's also a risk. There's also a risk of somebody running out of the country after serving. Kenofurata is a typical example.
It all boils down to the Kenofurata example.
Yes.
Are we not making a meal out of it?
Meal what?
No, it's a genuine question. Are we using one man as basis to deny or to ban outrightly talents?
We are talking about a man who doesn't have dual citizenship. If he could do that, now he's seeking to be a citizen of America. He wants to buy it. Can you imagine if you were already somebody with dual citizenship? Right. So no. You see, I appreciate the argument that they bring in resources, they invest in this country, they've acquired knowledge outside, they want to come and impart our economy and all that. Yes, if you want to do it, renounce the American citizenship or Togolese citizenship or wherever citizenship and come as a Ghanaian. You see, in fact, if you love your country, be prepared to say, I am a Ghanaian.
Right.
And I have only Ghanaian passport. You don't need an American passport. I have people who have American passport. One is listening to me now. He doesn't even care about it. He doesn't even go to America again.
Fair. Let me come to Matthias.
And Gifi, I just mentioned you here.
Because for the two parties, I think there's a consensus at least because it's cut across. It's cut across, right? So I'll come to Matthias and then I'll come to you, Richard. Matthias, You are hearing the argument in the studio, and they say, look, we don't. If it's a talent conversation, it doesn't hold. If it's allegiance conversation, you have dual allegiance, and all of those come up. Why are the both parties, starting from you, pushing? Because we've heard the president, he's described it as the Jachikwesin bill, and said he's been thinking about it, even in opposition, mooted the idea amongst many other things. Why are you insisting on something which considerably across the aisle, a lot of Ghanaians are not happy about?
You can't generalize.
I said some Ghanaians, so I'll say some Ghanaians. Fair enough, some Ghanaians. Some Ghanaians. Some Ghanaians, right?
At this point, I'm going to speak for myself.
And not for the NDC?
No. I'm going to speak for myself. I do not agree that for some sensitive positions of the state, i.e. President, Vice President, Speaker of Parliament, Chief Justice,
Chief of Defense Staff, Inspector General of Police.
Let me say Article 71 office holders. I do not, for any reason, will support the idea that somebody should hold those positions.
So Richie, it does appear you'll be alone on this one.
Bearing allegiance to two.
Something is desired.
Bearing allegiance to two countries. Okay, just imagine somebody with American nationality becoming president of Ghana. Note that America, as a country, their citizens, no matter where you live in the world, you must file taxes back home every year. And you have certain responsibilities to your country. The chances that people holding these dual nationalities could be compromised to take certain steps that will put their country where they are leading in a very bad state. Somebody who pride himself as a Ghanaian, wear immaculate white, dresses throughout the period he was finance minister, mismanaged our economy, sent old men and women to their early graves by haircut and to their pension.
Fair.
Was able to leave this country and was willing to stay in ICE detention center, working hard to secure just residency permit.
Doesn't that speak to a system failure? Other than a concern as to persons wielding dual citizenship.
Please.
Look, if your systems work, nobody will be having a conversation
our constitution should be simple.
The
current president of Georgia, Salome, before taking office, was obliged to renounce his French citizenship before he can take office. Okay, if at one point in time you believe that being a citizen of America, UK, will open doors of opportunities for you, the Constitution of Ghana...
Take it and leave Ghana.
Take it and then leave Ghana. That's when you believe that you want to come back to Ghana and occupy positions of responsibility that we believe that holding dual nationality, bearing allegiance, loyalty to countries at the time will not serve our interests. You are obliged equally to renounce that nationality so you could come and assume the positions here. And we talk about saying that people wanted to contribute. Is it only holding to become president of Ghana that you can contribute to the development of Ghana? You can remain American citizen and come and invest here. The foreign direct investment, the foreigners that invest here, I think they dwarf what nationals of Ghana actually do.
But if you look at a position like the NC boss, for instance, a dual citizen can will that. That's a sensitive national security
NCA,
position.
National Communications Authority.
Yes.
You are talking about the data of Ghana.
Yes.
You're talking about the data of Ghana.
That doesn't fall within the specifications of persons who are exempted.
If the CIA approach such a person holding American citizenship, the chances that you willingly give out our data to compromise the security of Ghana. Data is security.
Which is the point I'm making, that nothing bars a dual citizen from being NCA director.
Yeah. Then I think
that is a sensitive.
That's a sensitive
position.
The amendment should rather be broadened to include that.
The amendment should be broadened.
Let me have Richard come in.
The amendment should be broadened.
Let me have Richard come in now.
So see, I want us to make it flexible. I do not agree with what has happened to Jachikwesin. Like, somebody could be thrown to jail because he couldn't complete the process of renunciation.
That's true.
Are you getting me?
Right.
We can water down the penalties of sin. Are you getting me? In terms of the constitutional amendment, you can water down sin.
But
so that you don't
amend it completely, you disagree.
You don't send somebody to jail because the state have a responsibility to be sure that this person coming to hold this position has renounced his or her nationality. There should not be reason to send the person to jail.
Let
me have Richard. Let me have
Now you are
Richard.
trying to crawl back of some aspect where you were quite intransigent about it.
It's a person of interest.
Yes, I am, because when I left university, KNUST in 2007, I traveled to the UK. I joined, after my national service, actually, at Coca-Cola, I joined the British Army with Ghana passport.
Right.
Right?
You joined the British Army with a Ghanaian passport?
Because we are part of the Commonwealth Treaty. Okay. Now, quite interestingly, it is the same Council of State who approved Codjoe to become an ambassador of Ghana to the Korea. It is this same Council of State that is today contesting against full-blooded Ghanaians, but largely due to economic reasons, have acquired different passports. Please.
A Ghanaian.
I'm just making a point that
It's a Ghanaian.
It's a Ghanaian.
Yeah. Please.
He's a full Ghanaian.
Please.
Codjoe is a Ghanaian.
He's a Ghanaian.
Please.
He's a Ghanaian.
If you reverse the coin, this same Council of State wouldn't have accepted it. Now, this is not a new phenomenon. It is widely accepted that, number one, due to brain drain, due to economic situations that we find ourselves in, we've had many of our experts in a different specific designation out in diaspora, busting their backside off, and in fact, at a point in our economy, the remittances
was a huge
from
deal.
diaspora was 1/4 in boosting our economy in this country. Just recently, although however disappointing that the Black Stars were, we fielded a team of 11 players to play for us. All of us here were cheering them on, with the 11 players playing and upholding the image and flag of this country. Only one was actually born in Ghana and currently holds Ghanaian passport. Sorry?
Jordan holds Ghanaian passport.
He is a dual citizen, a French passport and a Ghanaian passport. He was born in France. So the point I'm making is that this is not, yes, it might be a new phenomenon that we need to explore. But I don't think the intransigent position that we are taking is the way forward. Listen, there are some countries in West Africa or Africa in a whole who have seen the contributions of diaspora and have actually paid weight and actually ring-fenced some positions for diaspora. Cape Verde.
The talk is public office.
Cape Verde, Senegal. It starts from somewhere. In Ghana right now, if you are a dual citizen, you cannot even harbor the intent to go and hold for a parliamentary position. With all the contributions, with the expertise, must we, and knowing very well, because we are going to be disingenuous if we are saying that I, for instance, if I acquire a foreign passport, it means that I have no allegiance to Ghana. Knowing very well that 9 out of 10 Ghanaians who are seeking to be citizens of other countries is fundamentally economic-wise. It has nothing to do with security threat or swearing allegiance and looking down on your identity as a Ghanaian. That is false. Those who have acquired citizenship from other states, there's one thing that can never be lost on you, that your passport shows where your identity is, what your identity is. Irrespective of the passport that you hold, it will tell you you were born in Kolebu, Accra. Your parents are both Ghanaians. And so it is once again, I don't want to use the word to offend people, but I think we should be progressive in such.
But you'd agree it's an emotional subject matter, also considering the systems we have in place.
It is to leadership and communication.
Ensure accountability.
Yes.
At the bane is the conversation about accountability.
But there are some, I agree to some extent that certain positions, one must pass some clearance after clearance after clearance. Look, when I joined the British Army, for first 5 years, there were some information that I didn't have clearance to. Those who had clearance to such information must have stayed in that country
but in
for
this
more
case,
than 5 years.
We are speaking to public office. So what can the clearance process be based on the concerns being raised? So the person comes all the way and assumes a high office of president.
Born, and yesterday, just one of my colleagues, a Ghanaian born has been voted to one of the councils in UK.
I mean, we celebrate it from time to time.
Yes, but why are we not celebrating our own in this country?
Where were the Ghanaian born?
I mean, we've seen
in London come to Ghana. There are a lot of naturalized white people.
Codjoe is one of the many examples.
Thank you. I just want to remind
So my point is, if Council of State have seen the benefits or in Codjoe, why are they stopping full-blooded Ghanaians from assuming?
We're running out of time to even talk about the Auditor General, because this subject is.
I want to make this point. Unfortunately, wait.
Matthias, let him finish and then let me.
That is wrong. That is wrong.
But you couldn't.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
You can't.
No, then you have to read it well. They are Ghanaians.
Who still wield Ghanaian passports?
Yes, because before you become even an indefinite leave to remain in that country, you must have maybe 5. I don't know whether the system have changed, but yes, there are Ghanaians who were sent to Sandhurst. But the point is that you must have stayed in Ghana, in the country for 5 years or more to pass some security clearance. There's something I want to say. I think all three colleagues,
right?
Yes, about Ken Ofori-Atta. I mean, I think that now when people are struggling to make a point, they always run to Ken Ofori-Atta. The point is that Ken Ofori-Atta is not a citizen of the United States of America. Let's make that point clear. It is not true that he's seeking to be a citizen. He acquired a green card. There's
moving step by step. He wants to get there.
Your position that he has looted money has not been proven by any cause of.
Then he should come to Ghana.
Fair point.
Then he should come to Ghana.
Fair point. All right. The microphones are off. So the Ghana, the Black Stars team, gentlemen, the Black Stars team, 18 out of the 26 are all actually Ghanaians. They hold just Ghanaian passports. 18, and I have the full list. Caleb Urinchi, all of those were born here and then they made their way. But 18, it will mean 8 willed dual citizenship. So that's just
majority of them
are Ghanaians, and that's been checked. That's been checked for us.
But they are allowed to play. They are allowed to play.
But that's public.
They are allowed to play.
It's public office. It's public office. I want her to talk about the Auditor General as well, but it doesn't look like
every small thing can every small thing.
But Ken Ofori-Atta, why did he run away?
Do you have facts?
No, why did he run away?
He didn't run away.
Then
Because of your incompetence. And then you have already proven that he is guilty before and you've
the man has run away. The man said he was going to run away.
Let me hear Mr. Mona quickly and then
let me.
Well, I'm not sure that Ken Ofori-Atta has suffered any damage that Alfred Wayomi didn't suffer. Alfred Wayomi was proven or was pronounced guilty and virtually sentenced in the mouth of President Akufo-Addo. Yet he stayed and remained in Ghana. Whatever consequences there were, he suffered. And so it is not about how people have spoken about Ken Ofori-Atta being a thief. It is about how he left this country and has taken steps not to return. And Jemfi,
because of the persecution.
For the record, you are young as I am. And I feel bitter looking into the future. Currently, somebody else is Minister for Finance.
Yes.
Should the person commit the same levels of crime and theft against our nation?
It's
and
not
tomorrow,
been proven, Bernard. You can't use
and
those
tomorrow,
words. Has it been proven?
That person vamooses, sought the residency of another country and is permitted. How long can we continue to tolerate that? And the example and convention would have been established by Ken Ofori-Atta. So for all of us who are indeed serious patriots and nationalistic in our minds, we should want Ken Ofori-Atta to come. No one is going to take a gun at his head.
Right. Clearly, it's not.
That's a fair. Let me hear that.
That is why we are even afraid to allow Annan how many attacks I suffered. That is why we are even afraid. Guns were put on my head for just establishing my rights to demonstrate. Do you know that guns? You monitored.
I covered a lot of the demonstrations.
Guns were put on my head. I stayed in this.
That is why we are even afraid to allow Annan to go.
Oh yes. I beg you.
Yes.
Those are sub-judice matters. They are in court. Matthias, briefly for me.
So it's okay. It's okay. You see, I think we have every legitimate right.
6 minutes, right? 6 minutes.
Anybody who opposes this dual nationality, using Ken Ofori-Atta's situation as a benchmark, as a basis, is valid to make such analysis, because assuming that Ken Ofori-Atta had dual nationality, all these challenges about Ghana trying to extradite him would not even have started, because America doesn't even allow the extradition of their citizens. So they
don't do that.
They never will. They never will. As part of their constitution, they never will. Okay? So how do we allow somebody to come and manage our economy, and then after he deliberately ran it aground, in cahoot with others, looted to buy oil blocks in Guyana and other places, then you just get on board the next aircraft on a flimsy excuse. Boom! The moment he gets to the American airspace, he's free forever. It is on those bases Ken Ofori-Atta has given weapon to those who believe that Article 1 office holders, 71. Such positions are too sensitive to allow somebody holding dual nationality to occupy those offices.
Fair point.
That is why I want to commend the Council of State for asking government to hasten slowly, because we need to discuss these things dispassionately. I understand. I was in a scene of, it pained me to see what the MPP took Honorable Jack Chikwesen through. And I believe that nobody should be sent to prison for holding dual nationality.
Fair enough.
But
we should not allow them.
We should not allow them.
Fair. Because of time, I just want to.
I'm speaking for myself.
I just want to. Pick quick thoughts on the Ramaphosa thing, because that we can do quick thoughts, because the Auditor General.
I'm not sure we can do quick talks. First and foremost, President Mahama and his decision to reject Ramaphosa's visit.
Just quick, America can extradite its citizens through legal process, and so that they allow that.
It just rarely happens.
It rarely happens.
America and Russia, but it can, yeah.
But
so I think that on the surface I support it. It's long in coming. I don't know why the High Commissioner of South Africa is still here. We should have expelled him or her.
The South African High Commissioner,
and recall our own. I don't see why the chairman or the head
But they are still Ghanaians.
Africa Continental Free Trade Area.
They are still Ghanaians.
Can I make my point? I don't know why that guy is still heading African Continental Free Trade in Ghana. He should go back to his country because he's taking jobs meant for Ghanaians. I do not see why Stanbic Bank has not been confiscated by our state and nationalized. I do not see why MTN, majority share from South Africa, including Ramaphosa, has not been confiscated and nationalized. There are many businesses that South Africans run here, and I would want to see more punitive actions. But you know, on a softer one, I think President Mahama and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs rushed. They should have allowed Ramaphosa to come to Ghana.
For security considerations.
No. And
all
see Pepe. He would have seen Pepe. He would have arrived in Ghana and would not be able to come down the tarmac. And that would be the first time President Mahama will see that Ghanaians are determined to resist oppressors' rule. We would have surrounded the airport, make it impossible for Ramaphosa to come out of the airport. He would have stayed at the airport. And President Mahama will wave at him and say, look, yes, I was willing to welcome you by my citizens that I represent.
Say go back.
Say go back. But that would have been most...
That's the reason why they said...
No, so for me, that was too... I let them there to bring him and they would see the spontaneous reactions of Ghanaians. I'm sure that every vehicle would have gone to park at the airport. President vehicle himself cannot move out. This is what we want to send to the government of Ramaphosa, who has decided to parade half-naked people on the streets protesting. And when they asked him, are you disappointed in the protest? He said no, he's not disappointed because it is their right enshrined in their constitution. What are they protesting about? To expel other Africans? You have no idea.
Richard, come through for me, then I'll do quick thoughts.
Sympathize with our Ghanaian diaspora
in South Africa,
having a raw deal in South Africa, and everything that has been happening is quite a diplomatic glitch on, especially South Africa, which is really, really disappointing. However, we do not intend to cause a diplomatic war, because you see, my worry, emotions sometimes, if you are driven just solely by emotions, the consequences might be greater than just following your emotions. And at this point, what is really needed is cool heads, not populism. Now, I say this because I just checked before coming here. We have legally documented Ghanaians in South Africa, averagely between 25 to 50,000. Neglect those who are undocumented. Now, the Foreign Affairs Ministry have managed to bring in 1,002 out of the 50K people. People have been asked to go and report themselves. Fingerprints have been taken in Pretoria, in other jurisdictions.
Richard, wrap up for me, because
what I'm saying is that I think that the best thing would have allowed this man to be here, and then we will speak to him.
Security-wise, it wasn't safe. It wasn't safe. So
I disagree with you. You can diplomatically tell him what you think. And this is what happened when Akufo-Addo spoke his mind to, what's the name of that French Prime Minister?
Macron.
You see that the point is that we are taking rash decisions, neglecting that we have 50,000 people stranded.
Fair point.
We also have some here.
Matthias, quickly for me.
Are we chasing them? Are they on the street?
Charlie.
Are they chasing? And is that what we want?
Production.
No way.
Let's cool.
Matthias, quickly for me, because I'm being given signals that I have
Charlie, knowing what has happened, and the anger of Ghanaian people, I think that the government has struck the right balance. Okay, we are noted for our mature and principled democracy. Okay, Ghana is noted for our mature and principled democracy, but at the same time, the objective of the foreign ministry of every government is to ensure that the dignity and the protection of every Ghanaian, no matter where they are, is outstanding, and we have to protect and defend that. Okay,
absolutely.
So government has not erred in any way by engaging South Africa through diplomatic channels while raising the issues with the international system. Okay, we don't want to allow Ramaphosa to come to Ghana, and people who are angry will take aim at him. And then
I think
become a
the
problem.
Minister for Government Communication made
Are you
that
getting
point
me?
as
It
well.
will be a problem for Ghana. So Ghana is noted. Ghana's commitment to our international cooperation with South Africa is not affected in any way by this. Okay. Ghana's commitment to our historical connections and a decades-long relationship with South Africa is not affected in any way. We have a problem at hand, and as you can see clearly, we have a very robust and young foreign minister in the person of Honorable Codjoe Blackwell, who is doing everything possible to ensure that every Ghanaian, no matter where they are, whether it's in Ukraine, we will protect them. Okay, and that is what we are doing. Okay, so we have struck the right balance, and nobody. We have struck the right balance, and nobody can accuse the government of overreacting. It is not populist. Okay, our mature and principled democracy.
Let me tell you, the South African president is chiefly coming to Ghana because of the fact that the Go-Fit deal is up for renewal. So he's here for renegotiation and renewal. That deal, Mr. President, that deal, don't ever allow that deal to be renewed.
Thank you.
Never.
Never. My guests in studio have been Ebo Bachman, whose voice you just heard. He's a Deputy Communications Director of the United Party. Richard Jemfi is a member of the NPP's National Communications team. Bernard Mawuena is leader of the PNC, and Matthias Alogbu speaks for the NDC as well. Happy birthday. Enjoy to the fullest. We will pawn you today, but I'll make way for Christabel Success as well to bring us the very latest in terms of the world of news as well. I hear for you on the 3FM Sunrise. So back again, God willing, tomorrow.